What's good? Hold on, let me get before I start doing all these sound effects and stuff. Let me get into the. Okay, oh. See, that's how you mess up the game. That's how you mess up the game. What's happening? What's happening?
Yo.
We here. We got a whole new special everything. We got a special table angle. We got special guests. Special Jameson. But first and foremost, let's not talk about how special we are. Let's give it up for our guest, young Smitty boy.
What's going on?
You still ain't got no sound.
I got nothing. Normally I have a little air hornage.
Yeah, that usually be his sound effect. I think the extendo messed it up. Smitty, what's up, man? How you feeling?
I'm good, man. I appreciate y'all having me come through.
Yes, sir.
For the people who live on the rock.
Yeah.
Let them know something about yourself, please.
Yes. I go by Smitty Boy. I produce for CeeLo Green, Currency, B.O.B., Stally, T Grizzly, Project Pat, a bunch of other people, man.
Boosie,
yeah. Nick Grant.
That's a lot of legends, man.
Yeah, man.
That CeeLo one.
Yeah, right.
Making it a little different.
Yeah. He came on the top turnbuckle with the switch.
Hey, you got to throw that out there, man. Hey, CeeLo's a legend.
Man,
Yeah, that's a fact, man. So that's dope, man. That's a super dope catalog.
Yeah, man. I appreciate it. Still got a lot of work to do. A whole lot of work. But,
Hey,
we're going to get there.
the grind don't stop.
And you won't stop.
All right, so we got plenty of time for you to ask questions to Smitty, but first, you know how we always do. We're going to get into that intro by a podcast community member, Young Chambers Beats. Oh, let me cue up the crowd.
You are now watching the UnQuantized podcast. Live on Fridays, 4 p.m. Eastern. Don't
You're
telling me that.
Yes, sir.
That was my Kawhi Leonard laugh.
And as always, man, if you did anything this week that you're particularly proud of, you have an accomplishment that you want to tell the room about so we can go ahead and big you up, let us know right now. I seen y'all out there working this week, so I know y'all got some good stuff going
I
on.
got tagged in a lot of stuff this week, so I know it's been some fire being cooked up.
Yeah, that's a
Shout out
fact.
to Young Busy Works Beats.
Yes, sir. Oh, yeah, what Busy do?
Busy dropped a course.
Shout out to Busy.
If y'all trying to get your YouTube right,
Busy always dropping work, man.
Man, that's a
Busy
fact.
don't play, bro.
Bruh.
You trying to get your YouTube right? Busy actually helped us with a lot of stuff with YouTube.
Oh, yeah.
He came in, taught us some stuff, man. Put us on game.
That's a fact.
So good teacher, man.
Facebook, too.
Oh, Facebook too. Yep. So if you
Man,
and
come
I
on,
got
bro.
some, he said he got some special weed. What's that?
Damn.
It's
It's a special
what was that
Friday.
Kate Michelle song? Very special. The VS something.
I should know that. I don't know that song.
Quintendo Power, what's good, man? Fictionalized, as always, showing love. Young Winzo's in here.
That's a fact. That's a fact. Nice.
We see J-Tay. Oh, what's going on, J-Tay?
Damn, nice. Somebody got their 8th single out. Dope. Okay.
Yeah, turning. You on that Gucci Man?
Yeah, right?
On that Gucci Man?
You on that old DMX schedule.
So you got that through DistroKid.
Right.
Getting DistroKid coins.
Yes, sir. Damn, 8th single. All right.
Let's see, quiet week for me, getting ready for Amazon Prime Week at my job.
Oh, yeah. Shout out to the Amazon workers. See all the shows in here. What's up, bro?
Let's see, Winzo said released a new single using a Super Sample Genesis.
Hey.
Tombstone loop.
Appreciate you. Super Sample Genesis in the building. So, man.
How was your week, yo?
It was dope. I went to Controllerize. Did you see it?
Nah, I wasn't even in town. I was out of town.
He was getting the bag. he was
I was
back.
on vacation, man. I had to take a break, man. I had to take that regroup.
Oh yeah, we're gonna talk about that in a minute because I seen you getting the beach flexing.
Yeah,
out that
you
joint.
know.
But yeah, I went to Controllerize. It was dope. Checked out J Black,
shout out to
Amon
J Black.
Jackson there. Always cool to kick with Amon. Black Metaphor was there. Always good to kick with him. Joy Black. Always good to. First time meeting her actually. Yeah, I talked to her before. The first time meeting her, so it was dope. J Black killed his set. Nice little spot, man. It's a brewery. They didn't have any liquor. I was a little sad about that.
For real?
Yeah, all they got is beer. But yeah, it's like an arcade in there. It's dope.
I think I had been there. I think I went there when they first moved over there. I think I might did a set over there.
Oh
I
damn.
do a set one day. Yeah.
Oh for real?
Yeah.
Shit. Oh yeah, shout out to Mike Sick. He hosts it every week, from what I told.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie, that was a trek for me to come out there. I won't be there every week, but I'm gonna come back though. I was like, woo!
And we had just been recording that day too.
Yeah. We did some extra special content, man. But hold on, we're gonna talk about your week, but let's talk about your beach endorsement that you were shooting this week.
Nah, man, I'm just on vacation, man. I needed a break. Sometimes you gotta decompress.
Yeah, that's dope.
Take a mental break, man, because you know how it goes. There's so much going on, and you just gotta disconnect, leave the music, leave everything. Because I think Knox from the Olympics hit me up. He's like, man, you ain't got your laptop. He asked me for some track outs. He's like, you ain't got your laptop out there? And I was like, nah, I ain't even bringing it. I just wanted to disconnect. I know. But I just wanted to disconnect. You know what I'm saying?
That's kind of important, man.
It's very important.
Yeah, we should talk about that for a hot second, man. Like, how often do you think a producer should like go on vacation and just like disconnect like that?
I think a few times a year. You don't have to be nowhere extravagant. You know what I'm saying? Even if it's just going to different places like a park to cook up or what, you know what I'm saying, or just to go just to meditate and just chill, man. Because you be stressed out, man. You know, you be doing music every single day, and I think it's important to miss what you love sometimes. You know what I'm saying? Like for me, I might take a week off and then come back, and then it's like, oh my God, I missed you so much. You know what I'm saying? Like, you realize, like, man, I just really love what I'm doing, but you gotta take that mental break, man.
Absolutely.
That's very dope, man. What'd you get into this week, bro?
Man, we recorded some content.
Yeah.
And then it was daddy daycare and working on more content stuff. I've been trying to like turn over my content, so I've been posting like 3-4 times a day, which is a job within itself.
Yeah.
So that's what I've been trying to. I'm trying to master that. Finishing up, updating the course, the music producer mastermind, so updating some stuff on that. So that was good, man. It's working, bro.
Man, dope.
You gotta have the proof when it comes to content, man.
Oh yeah, it's a team, bro. It's a team effort, bro.
It is, man. You need automation. You need extra people like to keep doing. You see how Gary V out here? Yeah. He got what's D-Rock. Gary just be like, blah, blah, blah. D-Rock, you hear what I just said? Turn that to a video, cut it right here, put the green dot right here, put the sound effect over here. If I could have it like that, I would post all the time. Oh, man. This whole thing would have been a post, right? This little piece right here would have been a post. But it's super tough, man. So let's read a few of these questions, because I got some questions I want to ask Smitty.
Let's see. Crazy week. Lost my job yesterday, but not letting that bring me down. I'm here because I know it'll bring some positivity my way.
That's a fact, man. You know it's all positive in here.
Hey, and then that's just another opportunity for something new, bro. So, you know, taking a stride and get ready for the next opportunity.
That's a fact. Zulu Child in here. I see you, bro.
See, what up, squad? Salute to y'all professors and the special guest, Smitty.
Yes, sir.
Shout out to Smitty. And Smitty came through when we did the live show.
Yeah.
Gems, bro.
Oh, man. In the cut. Smitty was in the cut, man.
I'm like, maybe you can bring you
I'm always in the cut, man.
Smitty was in the cut, like, well, actually. Like, who said that? Is that Smitty? Is that Smitty back there?
Yeah, always in the cut.
Nah, that was dope, man. That was super dope.
Kev got the heat, says, I purchased Moon Rocks, made a big difference in my production. Appreciate everything y'all do for the producer community.
Oh, man. Thank you, bro.
Highmon said, what up, Tristan Oracle? What's going on, bro?
What up, what up?
Content is a full-time job. 100. It's super facts, bro.
Yeah. Planning.
Super facts.
Planning. It takes a lot, man.
Super facts.
So, young Smitty, while we got you here, bro, I'm going to start, because I always want to know this about you. I meant to ask you this person. What was your first major placement? Like, what set the whole thing off?
My first placement was with Cassidy. I had just started. Actually, it was crazy because it was like the night before. I was like, man, it was like 2012, and I was like, man, I'm gonna actually just start taking music seriously, like moving forward. I'm gonna just start sending stuff. Like, I'm confident now. I have been cooking up for years, you know what I'm saying? I'm confident now, and I'm gonna just send it out. And I went on Twitter, and I think I put like in the search who need beats or whatever like that. And this guy came up. His name was Frankie Crutches. You probably remember him from the Dipset video back in the day. He was on the Crutches.
Oh, right.
Yeah. So he was like, look, man, send me some beats. Sent him some, and next thing I know, he sent something back and was like, yo, can you send the stems? And I was like, always heard you never send the stems.
Right.
So shout out to M16. You probably know M16.
Yeah.
Yeah, I hit him up very humble on Twitter and was like, hey man, help me out. Like, should I send this? So he's like, look, scare money don't make money. I wouldn't suggest it for everybody, but you know,
right.
I sent it out or whatever. Anyway, it came back and it was a Cassidy placement. So that was like my first ever placement. And from there, it just came to the juice like, oh, I'm going to do this full time now.
Damn.
So yeah. So it was pretty dope to have like a legend on your first joint. So
it's crazy that you said the night before.
Yeah.
You was like, you know what?
Because everybody was making those Lex Luger type beats at the time.
Oh,
you know what I'm saying? And I mean, I'm from the South. Like, I'm like, I know how to make this and, you know, type of stuff or whatever. So I was like, I'm going to just start sending out. Because I think everybody, when they first start making beats, you're trying to duplicate, you know, certain things that's going on. You know, you're trying to figure it out still. And I was just like, man, I'm going to just send it out. And it came back just like that.
Damn.
So, yeah, man.
Damn, more shit need to work out like that in life. Like, you know, the night before, you know, I'm going to be a chef. And then, like, get hired at a restaurant the next day.
We about to be millionaires.
Yeah.
Hey.
But see, I'm good. You know, I thought it was gonna go like this. I thought it was gonna keep going like that.
Really?
But,
yeah.
It was like,
dog, that's always the mistake, right?
Yeah.
you get your first, especially your first one.
Yeah.
You like, oh,
I'm rich.
Yeah, I'm set.
This is it. Yeah, this is it. It's gonna take off from here, man. But it was a great experience, man. Because Frankie Crutches, I ended up flying up to New Jersey, meeting him, and then I met Vinyls. I know y'all probably familiar with Vinyls. So I was able to build a relationship with him. He actually gave me some plugins because the only thing I had was Purity. Like that was the only plugin I had to make beats. I used to use like the same synth over and over again. And he was like, man, look, man, we got Contact. I'm gonna give you Contact and I think Nexus. And I met him and like a couple of other people. So it was pretty dope, man. And see his work ethic, because I was just like, man, I know you're gonna blow. Like his work ethic, it was just crazy. That shit inspired me. So it was great, man. It was a great time.
Man, you came in the game with some good like people around you though. Like
That's
M16 is super incredible producer.
Yeah, man. Like them guys work really hard, man. Even like Metro, like I knew Metro before Metro like blew up. We used to work with an artist named Shabir in North Carolina. And that's how I met Metro, like before he blew up. And then next thing you know, he had that Future Karate Chop record, and this shit was
killed it.
It was gone.
Yeah.
So it's possible, man.
Damn. That's nuts. Yeah, if you got any like questions in here, just feel free to shout them out. Cause I got Smitty questions all day.
Let's see. No, you can go ahead.
So, all right, when it comes to the beats, a lot of producers have their own process. Like, what's your beat making process when you like? All right, I'm cooking up today. Like, how do you go about it?
It all depends. Come together. Like I just know how to put sounds together. Like I'm just good at that. You know what I'm saying? It's not a process. Like, I might go through some samples or just hear one sound and just build that one sound for something. Like, or I might start with the drums first or something. Like, there's never no technique. It's just whatever I'm feeling, whatever vibe I'm catching.
That's interesting. So you don't have a formula. You just
whatever I feel, that's what I do. It's like I feel like I'm an artist, like a painter. Like I look at producers as painter. Like I can go and just be like, I'm just gonna do this. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And however way it comes out, it comes out. Like I hear shit. Matter of fact, I was talking to one of my producers, and I was like, man, I don't even know how I make this shit. Like I kind of have Kobe moments where you kind of just zone out.
Right.
Maybe every producer has that moment where it's like, man, I zone out and I do it, and then you hear that beat like a week or two later, you're like, how did I even make it? You can't even go
like
back
I
and-
was cold.
Yeah, you know. So it's no process, man. I don't like overthinking. Like I don't like music to feel like a job. You know what I'm saying? Like I want music.
Right.
Music is the only thing that like you can be free with. You can do what the fuck you want to do. You know
That's
what I'm saying?
true.
Like you can make some shit that you just want to play for yourself. That you might just want to come down here and just play it just for you. You don't want to play it for nobody else.
Oh, that's me 24 hours.
That's what I'm
a day.
saying. But you don't get to do that with nothing else in the world. Like this is just freedom. You know what I'm saying? To do what you want to do. So I never want to make music feel like a job.
Damn.
You know what I'm saying? That's just me.
Yeah, that's important because they say if you do what you love, then you never work a day in your life. But I always say, once that shit becomes a job, even if it's still what you love, you are working and you will feel like you are at work.
Yeah, and then we probably know how that feels just from being in the industry, man. With like, you know, the money might come slow or you waiting on a check or something, and it's like I ain't gonna say get discouraged, but you kind of get annoyed. You know what I'm saying? He's just like, man, is this gonna work or is this? You know what I'm saying? You got to keep going. It's that love, and you got to take that break. That's why I say the mental breaks.
Yeah,
it's very important, man, because you gotta still dealing with life shit. You know what I'm saying? And regular life stuff, and you got the music to think about. And then when you start worrying about the money, then the music suffered. Now you're not even making music for the reason you started. Because when you first started, whatever attached you to bringing making music, you wasn't thinking about no money. I can guarantee it. It was just like, man, this shit, I love the way this shit sound. I love the way I can beat on this. I can press these keys and come up with some shit.
Yeah, buddy.
You know what I'm saying? And like we forget that. Like as time go along, we just like, man, we forget. You know, and I think that's just important, man. And breaks and just having fun with it.
Damn, that's super dope to know that you still having fun with it.
Yeah.
So in the process of making beats or not making beats, what do you use? Like what's in your arsenal? Like what DAW, what machines or samplers?
FL Studio. I've been on FL since like 2000 and I'm gonna say like 4, maybe 2005. Might be a little earlier than that. I can't remember. Whatever the first one was, that's the one I was on. Because at that time you had to chop. You couldn't chop samples in FL. You had to use like Cool Edit Pro. See what I'm saying? So you had to take the Cool Edit Pro chops and put it in the FL and then you know what I'm saying to figure it out. So anyway, I've been on there and then shout out to Black Metaphor. He came to my crib. Was like, yo man, you got to try this push. And I was like, nah, I'm good. I'm just gonna stick with what I know.
Right.
And he showed me how to use it, and like that, he left, and I ordered it the same day, overnighted. So I was on the Ableton wave for like a while, but the thing is, I'm very impatient. Like I know what I want when I want it, and when it comes time to like trying to figure out how to do it, I just get aggravated, and it becomes no longer fun to me. So I just be like, cool. So I went back to FL. Long story short, went back to FL because I know what I want when I want it. Like if I know I need this sound here, I want this to sound like that, I can just go do it. But I like Ableton for collaborations though, because you can link. So I think that's fire.
That is fire. We're gonna get you back on the Ableton way, man. I'm gonna hit you with some.
Cool. Yeah, I'm open to get on there. I just got bored with it. I feel like I just didn't explore it enough, maybe. You know what I'm saying? But I still got it. I was about to sell it, but nobody bought it, so I just don't want it.
Man, good for them for not buying that.
Yeah, so, you know.
They ain't want you to go down that wrong road.
Now I know you said you don't have like a set point. Do you have like a daily ritual, like stuff that you have to do every day?
Just I gotta go to the gym. Mm-hmm. Like that's just something. I feel like you just gotta take time for yourself. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, you got kids, you got family, but you gotta take just an hour for yourself, like your mental health and physical health. So I usually in the morning, from like I usually wake up at like 6:37, probably about 6:30. Yeah. So from that time, I'm going to the gym, and then I come back and I meditate, and then like I read for at least 30 minutes, and then that's it. Now I just start my day. I try to plan, but that shit never works out. I'm trying to figure that out. I'm thinking I'm gonna do what it's called priority management or something. Yeah. I feel like I can, because there's no way you can be like 10 to 12. I'm gonna do this.
Yeah. I remember I was trying to do that at one point.
I remember you talked about that at one of the events.
But yeah, I switched it now to the top 4 things to get done by the day. Like if nothing else happens by the end of the day, I still feel accomplished. Yeah. If I do those 4 things, it's usually like before 7 p.m. Right. Instead of like 10 to 11 and 11 to 1 and all that. But I'd say the first time, all right, this is gonna sound crazy. Not the first time I knew you was a cool, all right guy, but me and you was chopping it up at that pizza spot on Edgewood, and you was telling me about how you wake up every morning and you get in. And I was like, a disciplined producer. Yeah. That I was like, Smitty is all right.
Yeah, man. Cause we get so. I had gained so much weight, man, and then it was making me depressed, and I always had to go back to M16. Somehow he always end up in my story, but we had met. I met him and his trainer, and this was like a couple years ago. He was just like, "Yeah, man, I'm about to get fit," because we were just so big, man. Like we sitting down all day, we drinking, we eating, we not doing nothing, just making beats. That's it, and I started getting depressed, and it was just something. It just started off with like a light jog every morning, and then I noticed that it was inspiring people. Via social media, and I think that's why I was just like, man, I'm really going to even go harder now, because if I can help people change their lives through health, that's bigger than the music for me, because this is life, you know what I'm saying? So that's just one of the things like I just have to do. Like I have to get up, and if I can't get up, I make sure I go that day. I think it's important. I think health is important. I'm like, what's the point of doing all of this if we're not even here to enjoy it?
That's true. That's true. You don't want to do all this and then just not be able to enjoy it. You're gonna spend a whole lot of time building. Yeah. For what? I mean, you can pass stuff down to your kids or to your family, but
I want to be around to see them enjoy it. Exactly. You know what I'm saying? So
that's true.
It's just a mindset, and then it became a lifestyle for me now. So at this point, I just gotta go like an itch. I don't even think about it. I kind of just like making beats. It's like I just get up and go.
Damn. All right.
That's right. But yeah.
All right. So you mentioned collaborating earlier when we was talking about Ableton and how I got the link and all that stuff.
Yeah.
So that leads me to ask you. I know you collaborate with other producers on stuff sometimes. What's that process usually like? Is it like an email back and forth type thing, or is it in the studio type of thing?
It's usually email. I don't like making beats in person. Like I don't like making beats. Like if we in here, we just have a jam session, cool. If we come up with something cool, but I feel like because I don't have a process, I take longer. Like I have to manipulate the sample every time. I gotta this not working. Let me go play 2K for like an hour and come back. Like I don't have
that nigga right there.
Yeah, I don't have the flexibility when I'm live one. So they probably like, man, damn, they can pick a snare. You know what I'm saying? It's like, man, this ain't fun. It ain't fun. Then it's no longer fun. My mind is like, this ain't fun. So I'd rather like, send me some loops, and I just cook up to them and
you can vibe with it.
Yeah.
Man, that's pretty dope. Damn, you said hurry up and pick a snare. That hurt me in my heart.
Nah,
because that takes me the longest.
Yeah, some people just you overthinking it and it just becomes like, oh man, this is no longer fun.
Yeah, that's real.
Damn.
I do hate that like on the spot pressure.
Yeah.
It's like you feel like you're in a time frame. Like I gotta make something dope within this time frame, or we
That's
just
why I hate the
wasting
studio.
time.
That's why I don't like going to the studio, man. Like especially if it's like a time where somebody just booked. This time it's just like, man, nah. Like I need to chill.
Oh yeah. When you know somebody's paying by the hour.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
It's even worse. Yeah.
Yeah, that does kind of suck. So do you think it's like a need for the big studios anymore?
I don't think so. Plus, I like working at home, man. Like even AJ, like he be like, man, come to the spot. And it's like, I love your spot. Your spot is dope as fuck. But I like being at home in my drawers,
Bruh.
in a robe with, you know what I'm saying?
Chilling.
I can just chill and make beats, man. Like I don't. Well, I can be like, okay, I'm going to watch Netflix for an hour.
Bruh, this you see?
Yeah.
I'm like, I just want to kind of chill out here.
Yeah.
No shoes required.
Yeah.
Just chilling.
Yeah.
But yeah, that is kind of crazy for producers, like the big studio thing. Like you see it, and I think it just looks good in videos. But for the most part, it's like you probably did that at home.
Yeah.
The only thing I miss is because I stay in like a townhouse, so I can't be with so loud.
Yeah.
That's the only thing.
Yeah.
The only thing that messes me up about being in the studio. Because when we was at Doppler,
You crank up.
I'm OD loud. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But at home, it's different. So I have to get used to not being able to feel the bass like that and just like the adjustment. But outside of that, it's no.
Bro, Doppler, we could smell the speakers. That's how loud it was.
Ooh, that was good times.
I kind of miss that, man.
Yeah.
I'm like, man, you should get that room back. I never say anything about me. Like, yo, you should get that room back, bro. So I can come down there 3 times. We pull up 3 times and jam.
So, Smitty, Mr. Sandman Griffin says, yo, Smitty, how do you handle beat block?
Well, I would say pretty much the same thing I was saying. Like, just take trips. You know what I'm saying? And like meditate. Man, even watching beat videos, man. Some of your favorite producers. Like, again, just go back to what started, like what you fell in love with. You know, I don't really even believe in beat block. You know what I'm saying? It's just kind of working through it. You know what I'm saying? And just taking a break. Like, I don't know how people sit around and make 20 beats a day. I used to be able to do that, like when I first started, but now it's just like, nah, I can't even do that. Because then I realized I don't care what nobody say. The quality does suffer when you rushing it in one day. I will always say, lay down ideas. You know what I'm saying? Like, I do that a lot. That helps. I finally got into saving my loops. So when I do have blocks, it's like, okay, cool. I come back to this later. That also helps. Those sessions when you go with an artist and it's like, oh, I'm on a time frame. It's better have you some loops. Just have you some loops lined up so you can go in there and just be like, okay, I'm cool. I'm start off with this, so at least I can just, I ain't gotta actually overthink. But yeah, man, you just gotta do other stuff besides make beats.
But that's a dope piece of information. I think people overlook that, and I always tell people that, like during consultations and all that stuff. I'm like, even if it's a beat that you don't finish or you don't rock with, something in that beat you did, whether it's a hi-hat pattern or bass line or 808 patterns, just save it, drag it to a folder, and then next thing you know, a year later, you got this big folder of stuff, and then you can just play the mix and match game a lot.
Everybody in a rush. Like, everybody. I don't say much on social media because I get aggravated. It's like everybody wants everything, and we all do sometimes, but everybody wants everything so fast. You know what I'm saying? It's like, man, look, it's okay to just lay the bass line today and come back tomorrow. You don't have to force it. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's cool. You don't have to make 20 beats a day. It's not going to make you less of a beat maker because you make 1 beat a day. I'd rather have one quality ass beat. You know what I'm saying? And That's just me, you know. So
That's facts.
That's dope. And staying on this subject, how long does it typically take you to finish a beat? Like, even if you go back to it over days, like, well, first of all, do you ever do that? Like, just go back to beats until they are finished?
Yeah. Sometimes it be weeks. Like, sometimes it be weeks. I got a beat that I'm working on now, and with another producer, and it's like day 4. And I'm still like went back to it earlier and like listened to it like okay, and I listened to it through different things too. I don't maybe it's just me, but like I record it through my phone because I feel like I hear something different when I like play it through my phone. Like oh man, I feel like I hear a sax in there now. You know it's not a sax. There probably could be some fucked up frequency or something. So now I'm like let me get a sax player so I can see if he can add. You know what I'm saying? Like you can't do that in one day. You know what I'm saying? Like over time, then you can know if it's still gonna have that same feeling, that same vibe. You know what I'm saying? And people talk about, oh, I wake up next day and it's like, oh, this beat sucks. It's like, okay, well, cool. Put it in the loop pack. Come back to it. Or collaborate, man. Send that shit to another producer. That's what I've been on.
There you go.
That's what I've been on. Like, I love collaborating, man. Like, that shit, it's inspiring and it's fun and it pushes you. I feel like you gotta collab with people who inspire you, though. Like, you can't just be people who, I don't want to say beneath you, but are not on your level. You know what I'm saying? Like, you gotta... People gonna make you go harder when you hear that shit. You gotta get okay. I gotta go harder.
Right,
you know
like you killed that.
Yeah. So, but yeah, man. Hope that answered the question.
Yeah, no, you definitely did. Collaboration is key too, because like I know what I'm gonna do.
Yeah,
I'm tired of hearing about what I'm gonna do. Right. But when you pass it off to somebody else and you get it back, you're like, damn, I would have never done that.
Yeah. It's fun, man. That shit is fun. And that's when music started. Like it was collaborations. Like I don't. That's a whole nother story. I see like the whole thing with loops and all of this. It's just like everybody just overthink every fucking thing. Like everything's so overthought. Like who gives a fuck? Like loops, whatever makes anything works. Whatever makes the music.
Yeah.
I don't
This is dope.
That's a tired ass argument. Though.
I'm tired of that argument.
Yeah, like I don't use loops because man, y'all know what I always say. The 13-year-old girl that liked the song in Kansas, she not like, I would have liked the song, but he used the loop.
Yeah,
she don't know what the hell a loop is, man.
Nobody's thinking about it.
And you trying to impress other producers, really, because nobody cares. Like, yo,
it's a sample. Like to me, it's a sample. And to me, also, like I seen the meme about the splits and all of this extra. It's just like, for me, when I decided to get out of the military and do music full time, I had to make a decision. I'm going to do this as a hobby for fun, or I'm going into the music business. Like the key word is business, man. Like I think people forget that. Like all these extra feelings and egos,
romanticism.
It's like, man, this is a music business. If you're a hobby, okay, cool. Don't use no loops, then. If that's how you feel. But in the music business, if I hear a loop and that shit sounds dope, I'm going to use the loop. I don't care who the fuck used the loop 30 million times.
That's a fact.
I don't care. Like, I'm not thinking about that.
Exactly.
That is a fact.
So I think people just overthink everything, man.
Because your job is to give people your taste of what it is.
Yeah.
So you're going to flip a loop differently.
Yeah.
New interpretation, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I mean, just rock that shit, bro.
What's the difference between hearing the same sample over and over and over again? Like, it's plenty of songs I done heard and be like, damn, I done flipped that before.
Yeah,
like,
that's a fact.
It was
Willie
nothing
Hutch
like
sample.
theirs, you know what I'm saying? But I don't know, man.
I feel like everybody sampled Willie Hutch a bajillion times.
Oh yeah, Willie Hutch.
Like everybody got the same Willie Hutch.
First of all, I don't think nobody should be able to sample Willie Hutch number 1 That's strictly 3-6.
Yeah.
Strictly
They
3-6.
went through
Man.
his whole catalog, right?
Man.
I said they exhausted his catalog so much they just had to actually go get Willie Hutch and start making music with him. Like, yo, come on.
They damn sure did.
Yeah, they killed it though.
Wenzel said, wasn't he at the Producer Power Summit? Yes, he was.
Yes, he was.
Gave some gems on the panel. See, home studios is cool, but I have to restrict my hours from my neighbors. That's facts.
Headphones.
I
hate it. I ain't gonna lie, I hate headphones, but it's a way around it.
Yeah, I hate it.
Dog, I never use headphones. I would make a beat so low in volume before I would put headphones on.
Yeah, I can't do it. Yeah, I can. It's just I guess it's the stereo feel, it being like this rather than, it's something different.
It's something about the distance between you and the music, to me.
Yeah,
at least that's what it is.
I need to hear that shit bang. I just need to hear it.
I need that little air come out the speaker.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's just different.
Yeah.
In the condo, I tried to fake myself out with the headphones and the sub pack.
I don't know how people mixing headphones like that shit. How do you mix?
Yeah.
But everybody different, man. Like that's why I love music, man. Because everybody's different.
That's true.
You know?
I just always feel like it's a weak person trying to smash my head when I put some headphones on.
And I think part of it is we spoil about speakers too.
That too, yeah.
Because once you start being in the studio with like Asperger's and all them, it's like it's hard to go back to like.
Yeah.
Before I didn't care anything about I would make beats in headphones, computer speakers, whatever. Now that I've been in the studio, now I'm like spoiled. I'm like, oh man, I gotta.
Headphones. Tim used headphones a lot.
Yeah.
I was like, how do you sit with headphones on for that long, bro?
Yeah, I can't do it.
What kind of monitors you got?
What is it? The Yamaha? I think like the 8s. Maybe I got like the small ones.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So,
I don't really. I don't even mix much. Like I just put like a little balance on them, and then that's it. And then if it's getting placed, then I send it to like AJ or something.
Yeah, I think producers OD with like the type of monitors because if you're not an engineer and you don't mix records, it don't really matter. You should really want monitors that's gonna bang.
Yeah,
I got the old Rocket 8s.
Yeah, I seen them. Yeah,
bro, I had these joints for about 15 years, bro.
You got the ones with the wire in the back.
Yep. Yeah, these joints rock, and they always too big for the space I'm in. My space gets bigger, but they still too big for the space that I'm in. I'm like, that's perfect. I could just turn them down in the back, good to go. Man, that's crazy. So hold on. I had a good topic, and yes sir. Poe if you want, man. Poe if you want.
I have a question before you get that.
Mm-hmm.
So Smoking Aces says, how much are you using live musicians in your production?
It all depends on the feel. Like especially with like sample records. A lot of times I play like the bass on my own, and then I see how it feels, and if it's like it's not moving the way I want it to move, then I hire like a bass player or something like that. Yeah.
Dope.
So yeah, if not, if I can do it on my own, then I do it on my own.
Dope.
Damn, that's pretty dope.
Just do what works. You know, not overthinking.
Yeah, I see that's Smitty whole model.
It's
And
not overthinking.
anytime I've ever heard Smitty explain anything, it's always a tinge of, man.
I'm for real, man.
I love that shit about him though. He was like, man, just do it.
I was telling my homie the other day, I was like, we was on vacation, I was like, all I wear is black. So it's easy for me to pack. Like, I don't like to think. Like, I like to get up and be like, boom, shirt. You know, I go to Gap or wherever I'm going and buy like 10 shirts. And they all black. You know what I'm saying? Because I just don't like thinking, man. It's like, we got to make enough decisions throughout the day.
Well, that's decision fatigue. And decision fatigue is super real. Like, if you make X amount of decisions by like noon, you burnt. You crispy. I'll be on the Steve Jobs dress up playing.
No turtles.
Yeah, nah.
Same jump.
That's why they do it. Because it was like, they don't want to have to overthink. You got to make all them decisions. Decision fatigue, yep.
Yeah, but you also can't be like really into that shit. Like if you like really into brands like super duper duper heavy, then you can't. You can't really do it. But
I'm a simple guy.
Yeah, my closet like Charlie Brown closet.
That's it.
Same shirt, man, different colors, and I still wear the one color.
Yeah, the Simpsons wardrobe.
Yeah,
okay.
Exactly, son.
Let's see. Wenzel says, how much of the beat do you mix yourself versus outsourcing?
I mix most of the beat myself. Like I get the drums to hit a certain way how I want them. Put everything in the kind of in the space, and then I send it out depending on who I'm sending it out to or how important the record is. I have sent out the stems to AJ and I have AJ mix it. So that way he can kind of clean it up. But I go sit with him, and then he kind of helps me clean it up a little more. So that way, because I don't like the whole. Some people don't agree, but I don't feel like you can do everything. Like you can't be the engineer, the artist.
You shouldn't
be. Yeah, it's just too much, And I think a different ear, which goes back to collaboration, always helps.
Yeah.
Because that way you bring another artist's vision into it as well. You can expand the whole record. So.
Yeah, I always say if you could outsource something to somebody that is better than you, that can get it done faster than you, in certain situations, you're gonna split the pie, yes. But you could also make more pies if you really apply that method. Yeah. You know what I mean? If you could get you a nice little assembly line going on with a couple folks, man, you could just knock shit out. Yeah. And just stay good at what you're good at. Yeah. But yeah, bad producers just they want to mix it and then
they feel like it's gonna make them less of a producer or something. I guess maybe if if they don't mix their own beats or something like. It's that ego, man. It's all this shit, boy. And that's why again I don't say much because it's just like it all boils down to ego.
That's
like, if you don't really care, because your soul, I always say it's like I don't want to get too technical, but I always say it's like,
Oh, this is the place for it.
you got the soul. I always say you got the soul and the ego. Like the ego is the one that's always like, oh, I'm worrying about all the extra shit. Your soul don't care. Your soul just want to make great music or whatever you're doing. Like it's the ego, man. The whole loops is ego. Like what doesn't matter? It's just collaboration.
Facts.
I don't know. The way I would look at it, but look, the way I would look at it, if I use a sound oracle loop, I would be ready to credit you. You know what I'm saying? And give you your whatever. Because then we can build, we can make more music together. That means we got a connection, people fucking with it. I'm going to keep it going.
Facts.
Then I'm getting your fan base, you getting my fan base, so we bringing value to each other. Like, what the fuck is wrong with everybody? Like, it's like everybody just over. I'm gonna say this a lot. Everybody just overthinks.
That's pretty dope, and that leads me to another question I have for you, man. There was a post the other day. Who posted it? I think Illmind posted it. It was about royalty-free loops. That shit kind of went ham, and he was talking about how I may be getting this wrong. First of all, about how every creator should be credited for their work. That was one part of it, and another part I think was about how basically you shouldn't do royalty-free loops. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It should just all be like. How do you feel about that? Do you feel like it should be royalty-free loops, or?
I think you do what you can afford as the person that's selling the product. If you can afford to sell, if you have a game plan on the reason you're selling non-royalty, then do it. That's fine, because you might have a long-term game plan. But if you're doing it because for whatever reason, sell it. Like it doesn't matter. And if you sell it, you should still get credit for it. You should still get a percentage of the record, and that's just the way it goes. If you don't like the loops, don't rock with the loops. Don't knock it at the same time, though.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. As a person, I have both. I have royalty-free loops on the site, and I have non-royalty-free. And there was an argument about how people sell royalty-free loops to make quick money, and I'll be the first to bust that myth because they both sell equally as fast, whether it's royalty-free or not. When it's out, people gonna buy it, and they know what it is. They read what it is. So I don't think that matters, but I think producers getting their credit, it's cool. But if you make royalty-free loops, just kind of know what it is. Yeah. And then, but if it's used, I had some of my stuff used on big records, like some royalty-free stuff. But then you have to know how to pour that back into your marketing.
Right. Exactly.
And now you market to get,
Yeah, that's what. Like, if you got a plan, like I don't see if you running it as a business. It's like being in the mall and you giving out free samples.
Exactly.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like you giving out free samples because you want people to taste that to say, oh shit, I'm gonna come back and buy some shit. You know what I'm saying? Like it's the same thing. Yeah, you might take I don't say an L. I don't like to say L's with not getting publishing and all of that type of stuff. But still, you got more traffic coming in now. And then eventually you don't have to do free royalty loops no more because now you got this big brand. Now you charging for everything.
Exactly.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right. I almost think that's cool to spin it off into a separate type of business too. Like you could have non-royalty free loops that you sell, but then you have certain artists or certain producers that now you giving them exclusive stuff. Then that's like another side business. But the way that you attracted that person off the rip was by having the royalty free stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think everything has to have a purpose. If you're just doing it just because,
do it,
there's a lot of, and I think people, I feel like it's a fair argument because a lot of people who get into the sound game have no idea about the business.
Yeah.
But I also think that you can't make a blanket statement over. He kind of hit the. I don't want to say the JD, but he kind of JD'd it a little bit. Like it was a blanket statement about a whole topic.
Yeah.
When there's a lot of little
gray areas.
Yeah, in betweens.
Good point.
It was great for conversation.
But
yeah.
I think a lot of it's just like you said, miss out on the business thing of it because so many people. It's first of all, it's a financial decision,
right? And
it's always easier to just copy, but people copy people and they don't have like the long term plan. Like you said, like people making sample packs. I'm gonna make a sample pack. And I'm gonna put it out, and I can make some money. But you don't have a plan. You don't have a business set up, a structure. You don't know why you're doing it.
You don't even know about copywriting. You don't know about clearance. You don't know about. You only probably know what clearance. A lot of people. Another thing too. I feel like, again, when I made my transition from hobby to full time, I educated myself as much as I could You know what I'm saying? So I can know what I'm getting myself.
Yeah, it's my air horn. You were
So nah, man, I educated myself so I can know what I'm getting into. You know what I'm saying? Like you hear the horror stories, because a lot of shit you can't find online. 90%, I'm gonna say 90% of the stuff online is bullshit, especially in the comment sections. You know, you got a few people out there like DJ Pain One and I think Kato and them guys. Like
Gummy Beats is cool.
You know, busy. Like they give great information. You know what I'm saying? But a lot of stuff, man, it's still trial and error too. You know what I'm saying? And I think if people read and educated themselves, then these conversations wouldn't be coming up. Instead of just reading the comment section on YouTube and then trying to just put pieces together. Instead, like, oh, you know what? I'm gonna go read this book. I'm gonna go read. Right. And figure out what publishing action is. Like, if you still on YouTube comments talking about publishing and copywriting is the same thing, I'm not arguing with you. Because you can't, you know what I'm saying? Like, you just know what you're getting into.
That's a fact. Here, we're big on consultations. Not just people getting consultations from us, but if you know somebody and you have access to somebody that has the knowledge and the answers to what you're looking for, you can really shortcut the line to save yourself a lot of time and just buy it because it's so accessible now, and it's usually not expensive. It depends on who you go to, but I just think once again this whole ego thing is I want to do it myself. I'm gonna figure this out myself. You're not really good at figuring it out because it's been 4 years you're trying to figure out the same thing. But I just don't know why people just swim upstream when it comes to getting the right knowledge, because it's so much information.
People don't want to pay for knowledge though. That's the thing. Like everybody want everything for free. Like, you know, you want to buy FL for free. You want to get all the plugins for free. You want to get all the free loops. You don't want to invest in yourself. You got to invest in your equipment, and you got to invest in your education as well. They should be investing to get counseling from you, so they can, you know what I'm saying, so you can know when you're taking those failing forward steps. Like you have a guide to something to guide you, because nothing is going to be 100%. Because this, you know how this shit goes. It's like up and down and so many other, you know what I'm saying? But to have that, when you got the education, you know, okay, this is how much publishing I'm supposed to get, or this is that, and then you figure out other ways to move. Like, I think for young producers getting in, if they understand the business more, then they'll know how to move totally different. You know, and then certain things won't, like this whole loop conversation won't be no big deal. You know what I'm saying? Because to a seasoned producer, well, I ain't gonna say all of them, but most of them, they don't really give a fuck.
Nah, and they using loops.
It's the young people. I don't say young people, but the young up and coming producers who has the issue with it. And it's like, if you educate yourself, then you know this is okay. Right. You know they had session producers. You can go to ASCAP and go there. You can read about every single record, and you can see that it's 20 people on there because there's session writers. There's this. It's nothing new on this thing.
That's a fact. That's what I started as part of a team.
Yeah.
Of people, and that's.
I think we all kind of did.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So.
But you're right. You crazy. It's really an ego thing, because if you ask the average producer, mostly up and coming, but really just the average producer, like, what do you want out of this, or where do you see yourself, or all that, their whole answer involves only them. It's never a mention of other people, a team. It's just like, I want to have 10 number ones on the jump in a year. And in their mind, they made all these beats themselves. They mixed them themselves. They got they placed them themselves. And I'm like, nobody who is anybody has done it like that ever. So I don't even know where that comes from. And it's not enough people out there telling people, like, you should change up sooner than later, because that's not going to work. Because look at all your favorites. None of them do that.
Okay.
No, I was just saying, because I think we know who Metro is, but we don't see who, like, Rico Brooks is. The most people don't. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I think people see the perception of Metro, but they don't understand. Metro got a team. He's got managers. He's got helpers. Yeah. And not to take away from Metro, which makes him, to me, a better business person.
Right.
Because he has
other producers.
Yeah, like, exactly.
Yeah, that's like totally normal. All the greats got other producers, and, you know, again, I had to say social media, like, they don't put none of this out there. It's just like everything is always surface level. Like, nobody really want to dig deep down into certain things, and it's just crazy. Like, if you understand the business, you'll be working smarter, not harder.
That's,
you know.
Man, that's true.
But when you got your ego in, it's like, oh, no, I'm not letting nobody else collaborate on this beat. Oh, no, I'm not doing this. Oh, I'm not splitting this 50-50. But if you read the business and you know the business, you'd be good. A lot of people be farther ahead than they are. And then they won't be taking bullshit deals and things of that nature. But you're not educated.
That's a fact. And if you look at other businesses, or just like top people, like look at a Warren Buffett, or just Anybody look at a Ray Kroc with the McDonald's thing. I always use that as an example. Like, you couldn't run a successful McDonald's, let alone anything else, if you cooking the fries and you doing the register and you doing the cleaning up. It don't work. Like, a successful business is a sum of well working parts.
Right, but your key word to that is business, and a lot of people not ready to even do that. They're not ready to handle their business. You can't handle business when your ego in it. I mean, you can, but you get to a certain point. But
It's gonna be some friction.
Yeah. That's what it is, man. The ego, man. Ego is a motherfucker, man. If you can separate that, and like I said, the ego is something that jumps out. So you can't. It's hard for any of us to control the ego.
Right.
But if you really put the ego to the side a lot and just really calm down and breathe, you'd be like, damn, it ain't even that serious. This is what This is what my soul wants. This is what we can negotiate. This is what we can figure out.
That's a fact. Have you ever read the book "The Ego Is the Enemy"?
No.
You sound like you have.
Nah.
It's a great book. I'm gonna butcher who wrote it. I forget the name. I'll put you onto it at the end of the show. But that's exactly what the book is about. Yeah. If somebody could, somebody here might know, "Ego Is the Enemy." It's a dope book. Somebody might know who wrote it. But man, it's crazy.
Smoking Ace says loops have expanded my possibilities and it's helped me create my own melodies. Let's see. Fiction Line says super true. I'm trying to fight against overthinking. I think it's my default setting to overthink. Excuse me. You seem to be very big about not overthinking. What advice would you give somebody to not overthink?
Just have fun, man. The way I kind of approach beats, I just pick a snare, I pick a kick, like my favorite one. That's like my start. I would say that, and kind of just go from there. It's like a painter. I don't know if they actually do this, but from the outside looking in, it's like they take paint and they just throw it on the wall, and then it just like
figure the way
come
out
to like this beautiful painting. And just have fun. And then if it doesn't work, it's just like, okay, cool, I'm gonna keep that for me, or I'm going to send this to another producer. And all that shit, like the not overthinking, will help out a lot. Because even with placements, man, like, trust me, I want big records, and I'm always work towards to get those records or whatever. But for me, it's just like, it's music is an art, and you're selling your art. And for me, it's like, I'm gonna create this is why for me, I'm not creating what everybody else is doing. Like, I'm not trying to do trap shit all day. Right. Nothing towards that. Right. That's just not my thing.
Right.
But I think it's just important to do what you want to do. And for me, it's like, okay, if I make this beat, I'm gonna send it to an artist. And if I send it to an artist, either you like it or you don't, and it's fine. You know what I'm saying? Because I like it because I made it for me. Right. When you making music for you, all the outside shit don't fucking matter because you like, I like it.
Exactly.
And at the end of the day, art is subjective, so somebody else is gonna like it. So when you're thinking like that, you're not overthinking everything. You don't have to worry about, because I see Sound Oracle making 10 beats a day. Now I gotta run and make 10 beats a day. You start getting in your own head and shit, and then that's when you fall out of love for a while. Exactly. And you're overthinking, you got beat block.
True.
And like, you just got to have fun, man. Like, if you do one, what people don't understand, man, even like the smallest thing is progress, excuse me, the smallest step is progress. If me and you sit here right now and I just make a loop, that's progress. That's working. You got money coming in.
Oh, yeah.
Got the PayPal coming. But nah, everything is just progress, man. Even like the smallest thing, the loops. Don't overthink. Don't overthink.
Do you think and this is one of my takes on it, overthinking is two things to me. It's a fear of rejection. So you're trying to make sure everything is perfect to try to please as many people as possible. Or it's just the most devious game of procrastination that you can play with yourself. That's what I think overthinking really is. Because if you're not overthinking, you're going to have to take a step, and then the next step, and the next step, and the next step. But if you sit here and you just deliberate forever, you don't have to move forward. Right. And I think subconsciously, man, it's just a big-ass game of procrastination.
I agree.
And it breeds laziness. And it comes from laziness, and it breeds more laziness. Otherwise, you would just move on. I just think you got to be confident and make a decision and trust yourself. That also shows, the more you overthink stuff, especially when it comes to art, it just shows how much you don't trust yourself.
Yeah, that's very true.
Yeah, in which case, you should run to collaborate with somebody that is more confident than you.
Yeah, I agree. That's very
true. That's just my take on it.
Don Corleone, he says, better outcome than what basically, it's better to have something than a little bit. I mean,
A little bit of
Yeah.
something instead of all or nothing.
oh my god, allergies.
Nah, all good.
Ooh.
Man,
Ooh.
I agree. Speaking of having
Did I
a,
see that?
nah, not at all.
Did I see that?
So speaking of having a little bit of something and a lot of all this stuff, and we talk about business. You seem to be very focused on business. What do you think? How much do you think producers need to have other streams of income, and what are some of yours?
I think every person should have another stream of income. I don't even think you should quit your job until you start getting money from your other gig. That's just me. Unless you got something saved up and you good to go. For me, I'm fortunate enough to have military retirement too.
Nice.
So yeah, that of course that helps out, and then the music, and then like recently I just got into real estate. So I'm trying to put that's like a whole nother game. So just trying to figure that out. But I think it's important just with anybody to have multiple streams of income, because if one slows up, you want to be able to have the other one. You know? And then you can use each one to fund, you know what I'm saying, each individual business. So
Agreed.
and then also when you got money or whatever, you're not taking bullshit deals. Because money's not a big thing, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, okay, cool. I don't need this $100,000 or whatever. Like I know people who was like, yeah, man, I dropped out. Who got pub deals? And like, yeah, I dropped out of school because I got $40,000 a pub deal for $40,000.
Ooh, shit.
That's nothing, you know.
That 40
like,
will be gone immediately.
You gotta pay lawyer, you gotta pay manager.
Yeah.
Taxes.
Yeah, and if you ain't used to handling a decent amount of money, by the time you got your 15,000, 20,000 left. You going to Lennox?
Yeah.
You gonna go to the Gucci store because you never been before.
Yeah, man. So you definitely want to have different streams of income. I think that's just important with anything.
Man, that's super dope.
You could definitely you've inspired me because I've seen like the movies you've been making.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, I gotta study up. I like that.
Yeah, I'm still learning too, man. But like I said, I just want to be able to have control. I always want to have control because my end game is always in music. And I want to have as much as control of that. It's not about big placements for me.
Sure.
It's never been about plaques. And I think I kind of realized the plaques and all of that shit from being in the military, because you get awards and you get all of this shit, and then you get out and you realize that none of that shit really means anything. You know what I'm saying? Like, it means nothing. So I think I started feeling like that with music as well. It's just like, cool, if I get a Grammy and all that, that's cool. But I just want to make dope ass music and have fun with it and never know that I like sold out financially or anything. Because if you're doing a pub deal and then you can't recoup that shit, that's what that becomes, a fucking job. And now you stressed out, you can't make music because all you think about while you cooking up is how you gonna get out this pub deal. Then you're like, I don't want to choose this sample because
it's gonna take out.
You see what I'm saying? Like,
you're not having fun at all.
Yeah, so
I don't
like,
want to collab.
Right.
That's gonna cut into my publisher.
There you go. So shit rolls downhill.
Yeah, that's real.
That's super. Do you have any like physically have any plaques?
No, I don't. Not yet.
Okay.
So, and that's why I like by being a producer, man. I always had to tell people because they get so discouraged, like, oh man, I'm getting older, and I'm like, bro, you a fucking producer, not a rapper. We can do this shit until we 90.
Everybody heard of Quincy
shit
Jones.
hit, with Quincy.
Still out here.
Long as that shit hit, when that shit, you good. You good.
Super fast.
Yeah.
You ain't gotta worry about none of that. Just have fun.
They say he did what Thriller at 40?
Yeah.
Come on, bro. That's the beginning of a stage in his life. Like that's nice.
He still work.
Yeah.
Plaques or not, I mean, he's still. I mean, he's a legend, but he still work.
Mike Dean.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Mike Dean killing it.
Yeah. Nobody's like, oh, Mike Dean, you 50 now, you need to chill. Like, no, nobody.
Mike Dean out here setting the trends, bro.
Yeah.
At 50 something,
Yeah.
kill it.
That's why I love producing, bro. This shit, we can do this shit till we like gone. Like we can be 100. As long as we moving, we can still cook up. We good.
Yeah, I think a lot gets lost in like the superlative aspect of it. Like everybody wants plaques and they want a Grammy and all that stuff, and that's, I guess that's kind of cool too. But a lot of people don't talk about like the real shit that you were like, maybe some type of financial stability.
Yeah.
You know, just a peace of mind of knowing that you can make money from your art and all that stuff. Because people let me have it for not having plaques.
Yeah.
I've been on things where I should have plaques. I just never got the plaques.
But I don't know.
It's like decoration.
Yeah, but I also, to me, it lures me into a false sense of accomplishment. Even though I don't think like that, I rather look at how far I have to go all the time, and I never want to look at how far I came, because that's just gonna make me feel more accomplished than I feel like I'm entitled to be.
Mm-hmm.
So if I sit here and make a beat, and I'm like, and I look up and I see 3 plaques, I'm like, oh, that nigga.
Yeah. Nah, for real. I can see that.
Yeah, I don't know, man.
And then I'm like, what's the difference between getting a plaque now and me getting a plaque in 20 years? It's still a plaque. It's still gonna be a Grammy nominated or Grammy award winning.
Yeah.
Your time gonna come when it's gonna come. Like
that's real.
Yeah. Or not.
Yeah.
It's nothing wrong with or not. That's the thing too. Like in this culture, like you said, everybody wants things fast. Everybody wants things free. Everybody wants to be a millionaire, billionaire. I just think that we cut ourselves short.
Mm-hmm.
And like the fact that you can make it to just a certain level in life, you should be somewhat grateful for that. And it don't have to be like, damn, I don't have a plaque, or damn, I don't have this, or I don't have that. Because if you go other places in the world, they don't suffer from that type of, I would call it mental illness.
Mm-hmm.
Like you go to Cambodia or somewhere, maybe it's not like this in Cambodia, but they're not like, oh man, I'm not a billionaire.
Right.
Oh man, life is terrible. I've been seeing this meme going around like, I'm so tired of not being a billionaire. And I'm like, that's some real American shit.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Super rare.
I think social media plays a part in that too, man. You know, with them plaques.
It's a highlight reel.
Yeah, that's all it is. Man. I always say Instagram is like a museum. Like if you want to come see all the perfect shit, you go to Instagram.
That is a fact,
Yeah.
bro.
So, yeah, I understand. You get to your head, you know, comparison.
Let's see. Kevin got that heat. Says producers want free shit, but get mad when motherfuckers want free beats. That is very true.
Damn, you got the air horn over there, son.
I forgot it was right there.
Yeah.
Let's see. Wreck the Chef says, "What up, gurus of the game? What's going on, bro?
What up? What up?
This is awesome and helpful. Thanks to the real Smitty.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, make sure y'all go follow Smitty on IG too.
Yeah, follow me, man.
Yeah, at the real Smitty.
Let's see. If you send a beat to another producer, they put their sauce on it. You don't like their changes, and you decide not to keep their changes and finish the beat either yourself or someone else. What do you do?"
I keep both versions.
And he says, "Does that initial co-producer get credit?"
If I do something with somebody that don't like I said, art, I don't overthink. Art is subjective, and I realize that. So if another producer adds something I don't like, that's cool. I can do another version the way I like it, and I can send like all 3 versions. Or I can send, you know what I'm saying? Like, then the artist can choose which one he like. I'm just saying, like, why do people overthink it?
That's a fact.
I'm not gonna. I don't believe in throwaway beats either. Like I don't throw
That's
away no
good.
beats. Yeah, I don't throw away no beats, man. Like I gotta keep that shit because it's subjective. Somebody don't like it.
That was real.
Okay, here's a question. Here's a technical question about that.
Okay.
How much has to be in a beat for it to not be thrown away? Like for instance, if it's a loop, a kick and a snare, and it's an 8-bar loop.
I'm keeping it because you know what? On them days I might have a beat block. I can come in and be like, you know what? I'm gonna start off with this, and then I'm just gonna go through some samples, and then next thing you know, you're like, oh wait, this might fit, and then boom,
something completely different.
Yeah. You supposed to keep your ideas, man. Like
Yeah.
you gotta understand the way like ideas is. Like if an idea come to you for a reason, you know, and then if you don't do nothing with it, then it passes on to somebody else, you know. So you want to try to.
Yo, so here's a tip, man. If you ever overthinking anything, have Smitty in your head. The voices, the one with Smitty. Put up what with Smitty do, brace it up. Smitty be like, why you overthinking it,
Don't
man?
overthink, man.
You just need one of those little buttons, and it's like, what's Smitty? Then you press it, and you're like, just do the shit, bro.
Yeah,
Right.
Like, I mean, it's 50-50. Like, what's gonna happen? You know
That's
what I'm
very
saying?
true.
Yeah, that is true. A lot of the shit is, most of it's in your head.
Yeah, that shit is all in your head.
Yeah, a lot of times things are good enough the way they are. I have a firm belief 98% is just as good as 100% to me. And just move on and learn to trust your gut. Because then something that you would be overthinking that you're like, all right, I'm just going to let it go the way it is. And when it works, you'll realize more than not, you can just let shit go the way it is.
Right.
It's going to work.
Let's see, we got a couple comments. Some folks are like Russ and need that visual to motivate them. Is that weak?
I didn't catch the Russ thing. He needs visuals to... Oh, like the plaques and stuff?
Yeah. Oh, so did they kick us off already?
Oh, yeah, it has been 1 hour.
shit.
So, YouTube, we still here. We got to reboot the IG.
Now I'm looking at it on the on the thing so I can see.
Yeah. Same here. I'll be like, hey,
Oh
what's
yeah.
going on?
I ain't even know it was that time. This one's flying by.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about, man. Good conversation. Young YouTubes, we still here. Hold on, I asked some more Smitty questions here. I'll wait till YouTube come back up though. That's what. All right.
They told me we're having trouble loading this video. Boy.
I'm seeing it. Oh, loading.
On my joint. I've never seen that before. There we go.
Okay.
What a tick, Basil? What a tick. Yeah. Visuals as in plaques, you were saying.
Got you. I guess some people might need that.
I mean, I guess it's kind of like a vision board, but I just don't want to I don't want to be depending on high school superlatives, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's doing that shit again where it's not letting me pin.
Oh, for real?
Oh, sorry.
You know what it is. Welcome back to the second half of UnQuantized podcast. If you're watching the replay on a nice little Saturday, this is the second half. By the way, if you haven't, man, pick up Ben Trapping 4, soundover.net, producerkit.com. And we also have a special guest in the building, young Smitty boy. So
That's the right button.
that was a great button. Yeah. So I got another question for you. I looked at this question 3 times and forgot already. So when it comes to placements, how do you go about securing placements? Is it a manager thing? Is it just reach out to artists thing?
I just reach out via social media, or I try to use some of the relationships that I have to, leverage and see if I can, they can introduce me or get an email or whatever, and just networking, moving around, sitting in studios, same old stuff, man, just grinding it out.
See, that's dope that you said reaching out via social media. Now, a lot of people, it seems like the most obvious thing to do to me, but a lot of people, I guess they don't have the confidence to do that. Mm-hmm. So if you were to reach out to an artist, like in a nutshell, like what's like the Smitty boy approach?
I usually just reach out and say, professionally, like, hey, peace, this is Smitty. What's a good email, to send you some beats? Or how do you feel about me sending you some beats? Like I read books on like negotiations and stuff, so I know how to like word things a certain way to get certain responses. Mm-hmm. Because a lot of times people leave you on scene. Like I still get left on scene, and stuff like that. So but that's just pretty much, I just reach out straightforward and that's it, and kind of go from there. And I send stuff and make sure that first batch of beats you send is heat.
That's true.
And then just kind of go from there.
How many beats do you send at one time?
Usually 3. No more than 3 beats, because unless it's like an artist that like we got a relationship with, and he's like, yeah, man, just send me a pack, then I just send like 20, 30 beats, whatever. Okay, cool. But if it's somebody I'm just sending, it's just like 3 beats, because I want them to really hear it. And then a lot of artists get overwhelmed. They'd be like, man, don't send me too many, because I get overwhelmed. I start hearing too much, and then they tap out. So I usually just do 3. And then I send out a few times a week, depending on how I feel. I kind of just go with like my stomach. Like somebody like send some beats, and I just be like, okay, cool, I'm gonna go to my email and send out some beats. So, and then I pay attention to like artists. I have a tracker, so I know who's opening up what, so I know who kind of be bullshitting, who's not bullshitting, so I can be strategic on who I'm sending what to and what beats to, what times that. Like I know what artist records on what days, so I was like, okay, I'm gonna send beats because like, he's recording on Friday or he's recording Saturday. Now, I pay attention to all that type of stuff. Yeah.
Strategic.
Yeah.
Smart.
So let me get this right. You're not just sending them, spamming them a link.
Nah. I'm not just sending you a link like check out my beats,
bro.
Like, no, I'm not doing that.
Yeah. Now, how often do you get hit with that?
Pretty often, a whole lot, and it's very annoying.
Have you ever been like reached out like, yo, I really fuck with you because I checked out that link?
No, I'm not checking links. Don't send me no links because it's too much work. Again, I don't like work, so
that's a fact.
Yeah.
That's a fact. And people that do that usually don't even have music on their page. That's a whole another thing. I ain't gonna get into that. Between that and me being, I see I'm on that link with like 10 different people in the
yeah.
header. I'm like, oh, you just didn't give a fuck today, huh? You just shot the shot.
BCC.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's
Soundwalker, Timberland, Smitty, Trizza. I'm like, oh, you just sent that link
Everybody.
with no words to everybody, huh?
yeah, at least one at a time. At least copy and paste. You know what I mean? Have the respect.
Nah, none. Nah, you get no love.
Windsor Rap says, if you use a non-royalty free loop and the song pops off, how do you manage the splits? 50-50? Question mark.
I don't know. That sounds like first of all, I guess that's for Smitty. I don't know if that's a moral question or a technical question.
I think it's a little technical. I mean,
It's kind of both.
yeah.
It all depends. I'm all for everybody eating. So for me being who I am, I'm probably gonna hit you up and be like, hey man, I give you a percentage of the record.
Right.
Now whether it's 50-50, I don't know, because it's a business,
Right.
so we're gonna negotiate.
Right.
Yeah.
Because it's not my ego, it's just what we can get and what you feel like is fair for you or what the other person may want.
And it's also voluntary.
Yeah, that too. Yeah. So you don't have to do it, but I probably would do it.
Well, they said non-royalty free loops.
Oh, non-royalty free. I'm
non-royalty.
sorry.
Yeah, like, so the ones you got. And a lot of times they put it in the packs of, like,
Oh yeah. If it's not, you definitely want to hit them up.
Oh yeah.
yeah. But either they'll negotiate with you or they'll put it up, like, oh, I need 15 or whatever.
Yeah. Everything is negotiable.
Yeah, that's a fact.
Nobody want to negotiate.
And speaking of packs and stuff, you actually did a few packs.
Yeah, I did 3 packs. The first one was called Breaking Samples. It was like me in like a Breaking Bad type suit with my face on it or whatever, which did pretty well. I was probably like the first kid I ever dropped. And yeah, it did really well. I think I dropped it like right before A3C.
Oh, nice.
So what I did too was, no, that wasn't that pack. Then I dropped another one called Smitty Snacks. Right
So I had
before-
the vending machine on it,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, right before A3C. So what I did was, that sold pretty well too. And then what I did was go to A3C with boxes of candy, but I took the candy out of the boxes and put USBs in there, like snacks. So I was out just selling them hand in hand too.
Oh, that's
Just had
fire.
USBs. Yeah. So it did pretty well. It was I just wanted to see what it would feel like to actually do it.
Hustling.
It's still a lot of work though, like
Yeah.
to actually do it. So I usually just go through like Machine Masters and let them kind of do what they do. So.
Shout out to Machine Masters and AJ and all them AG, sorry, over there.
Yeah.
What'd you do with all the candy?
I think I ate it. I think I might put like in a bowls in the house or something. Yeah, had guests coming in.
That's like the Sweetwater method. You ever order something from Sweetwater? They give you the box. They got all the stuffing in it, but then there's mad candy in the box. I'm like, yeah, I'm not ordering from y'all no more. I'm gonna get diabetes ordering equipment from y'all.
Don't be surprised you see about 5 people handing out candy and
A3C.
A3C.
Yeah, then everybody like, you know what I'm gonna do?
That was a good idea.
I'm gonna use the Smitty candy method.
Hey man.
Smoking Aces says, how important do you think it is to connect with label execs, managers, or directly with artists these days?
That's me.
Yep.
As far as labels and execs, I try to reach out to them like on Instagram and stuff, man. A lot of people is just like A&R superstars. And after a while, it just becomes more of like a clout game. Like it's very weird. So for me, I've been concentrating on more of finding independent artists or just artists that's like coming up and just trying to work with, find my own artists. Like right now, I'm just working on like projects. Like I'm convincing artists to let me produce entire projects. Because that way, I feel like if you go about it that way, then these execs might listen to your music and then be like, okay, cool. Instead because we always chasing people. You know what I'm saying? It's like, why we? I was talking about that on Instagram. Like, why are we always chasing? We the one with the music, but we always chasing people. You know what I'm saying? Like, why are we chasing the artists for placements when they should be trying to find us?
That is true.
You know,
That
like, why
is
do we
true.
care who rap on our beats so much?
Yeah, you can make your own stuff and,
Yeah,
and
you can just
put it out. Yeah,
So
that is
now-
true. I mean, shit. To keep it real, a lot of A&Rs now that's what they do. They don't even have to like go to venues and watch people perform anymore. They just jump on YouTube or Instagram. Yeah. So shit, that's where
Find your artists.
that's where you should put your stuff.
And I think that's like all the big Tim,
Mm-hmm.
you know, Metro. When you think about him in Future, it's like always like a breaking of artists and you giving people a sound
Yeah.
And then that sound taking off.
Look what Mike and Keys did with Nipsey, man.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
That shit is, I love that what he did with
That's
him. Like, if
great.
you listen to the earlier work to like the new stuff, it's just like, man, like they made a sound for him.
Yeah, man. Shout out to Mike and Keys, man. They are super dope.
Oh, okay. So, do you require indie artists to pay for beats? People go ham on rappers when sometimes they're really starving artists. A lot of them are really broke.
So indie artists, it all depends on the situation. There's no one answer. What I usually do depends on the situation. I think I talked about this like last week. Again, you're in the music business, right? So you want to. I feel like one of the things I make sure I learn to do and still read on is negotiating. Because what I have is a product, like property, that I'm trying to get rid of. You know what I'm saying? So if I'm working with an independent artist and he has no budget, I must really like you to really even work with you. And it's not even just like you, because I don't care if you can rap or not. It's your work ethic. Like, I done wasted so much time on artists who I thought was dope, man, and then they tap out because it ain't happened fast enough for them, or some other artists came out and they doing some clout stuff and they not trying. You know what I'm saying? Like, they just all in their own head. So you got those type of artists when it's just like, I don't know. But independent artists, it all just has to make sense for me. Sometimes I might not charge an independent artist for a beat. I might be like, hey man, give me a verse. You know what I'm saying? And they give me a verse in return. Then I can use that for my album, my own album. You know what I'm saying? And because a lot of times working with independent artists, they don't have no what you call it, like a person that watch their finances.
Account.
Yeah, and they don't even half of the time artists don't even know about royalties and publishing either. You know, and it's crazy because you think you're the one that's not educated on it, and they're not as educated on it either. So again, you can tell them like, hey man, look, what I would do is give you this beat, and you give me a verse back, and you can use the beat for whatever, because they're not gonna give you no royalties. They're not gonna hit you up and say, hey man, what's your bank account? I want to make sure you get this distro kid money every month.
Right.
So you just gotta negotiate, man. You gotta negotiate what you want. Nothing is really ever fair. There's no such thing as fair. It's just really about what the other person wants. Like, if me and you negotiating, it's about, so I'm gonna ask you, what do you want? And then you can say, what do you want? And I can say, well, this is what I want. And then we just try to figure it out from there. And I think a lot of times, like, artists or not artists, but producers are scared to do that.
Yeah.
You know, they're scared of the artist. And it's like, man, no, you're entitled to royalties and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of times, too, again, like I said, it's very broad. So a lot of times, too, what I explained was you have artists you send out beats to, and they put their shit up, and then you won't even know it dropped. You be like, damn, you dropped a song. You know?
Right.
They're not trying to give you no money or anything. It's like, well, I can do a cease and desist, but that's going to cost more money probably than even bringing in. So, in this, my lawyer probably kicked my ass, but what I do a lot is make my own cover. You know what I'm saying? I make my own cover. That's why it's important to have a fan base. You make your own cover, and I put that shit out again. Yeah. And I promote it. Like, what's your argument? You know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, because you put this shit out without me knowing, so now you not sending me no money, and because it's hard to get in touch with these guys. So I'm gonna put it out. Yeah. And I'm probably make my money off it to you. Because it's hard to get in touch with these guys, man. Like, they ignore your calls, and until it's time for some beats. Yeah. You hear them like, hey man, send me some beats. But when you hit them up for a verse or this, that, and the other, it's like you don't hear nothing, man. So I take those records, make a cover, and I put that shit out. You know, but
dope.
That's right. You know, some people wouldn't agree with that, but it is what it is.
Yes, indeed.
Not many artists are known for their punctuality and
their timeliness.
Yeah, man. Oh, go ahead.
Oh no, I was gonna say I often heard the best negotiations are where both parties leave the table feeling slightly slighted. Like you should feel both people should feel like they compromised in some type of way.
Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah, both of y'all leave the table and one person just feel like.
But you don't even want it to be that way. Like if I did a negotiation with you, I wouldn't want you to leave the table like that anyway. Because I would want to have a good rapport with you so you can let everybody else know like, yo, Smitty did good business. That's just the way I think. You know what I'm saying? And again, it goes back to like having a what I was gonna say, having a job or something or some money to back you, because you're not biting for everything. You can kind of maneuver what you want to do. You know what I'm saying? I don't give a fuck what record it is or what clout it can bring. If it don't make sense for me, I'm not doing it. You know what I'm saying? Like, and that's just what it is, and I'm okay with that. Like, I'm not worrying about who raps on my beats. I promise you, I'm not. You know what I'm saying? Like, I would love to have such and such rap on my beat, but I'm not like, oh my god, if you don't. It's like whatever, it's cool.
Yeah, that makes sense.
That's pretty dope.
So how do you feel about like producers valuing their beats? Like, it's like a big thing of either producers will sell like their beats for like $10 or they'll.
Again, that's if they have a business plan and that plan works out.
Right.
Yeah, then go
That
ahead.
makes
Sell it to them. Me personally, I'm not doing that.
Right.
But if it works for you, you got a plan to do it.
Yeah, a lot of times I think the business plan is to make $10.
That's
Yeah,
what it is.
A few times
And that's
day.
what it is. Like I said, I know that's what it is. Like I just need some gas money today, so I'm going to put this beat up for $10 and hopefully somebody buys it.
Right.
Like you're not thinking 20 years from now. You're not thinking 10 years from now.
Right.
You know, like how y'all think. Y'all thinking totally different because y'all always bringing out shit. Like y'all good. Y'all run it like a business.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you're not like I'm just trying to do this because I gotta go to Miami next week.
Right.
I gotta go to New York next week. So I need to hurry. Like when you think like that, you're not gonna ever make no money. You're gonna keep dropping bullshit. Then your kids gonna get worse because you're just trying to drop shit just to drop it.
Facts.
You know what I'm saying? Because it's just like I just need some money, so let me drop this kit right quick.
Exactly.
Short-term money.
Now you're recycling drums.
Mm-hmm.
Now your brand is whack. You know what I'm saying?
And that's hard to come back from.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, once you lose that reputation, because all this shit is branding and reputation, man.
Yeah.
Like, it's not about just putting out some shit and then hoping that people buy it. Like, you want to establish a rapport. You want to make a fan out of somebody.
Yeah.
But if you just want to make $10 for gas,
Yeah.
you just gonna grab a handful of whatever.
Yeah, just throw that shit in
It's
the
gonna
pack.
be mixed stupid. Is
Yeah.
the cover gonna be dumb? And you just gonna throw
free.
it out
You're
there.
not even thinking like long term game. You know what
Right.
I mean? So then when somebody do use one of your royalty free lose, you mad. Cause you know what I'm saying? Because you're not thinking it through. You're not thinking like a business. That's why I said it's very important to figure out I'm gonna do this as a business. I'm gonna do this as a hobby.
Right.
Or just some shit just to make some extra change on the side.
Yeah, and then you get stuck. You'll get stuck in the loop doing that.
That's super.
Like, use the gas money example for, say you're doing $10 for gas money. Shit, you're gonna need gas tomorrow.
Yeah.
You're gonna need gas every day for the rest of you. What you gonna do this quick,
Bags.
stupid hustle of whack shit forever? You can't sustain that.
Yeah.
And it's not gonna sustain you.
Oh yeah. Wenzel said, "Hit the air horn for work ethic." Not mad at that.
Yes, sir.
Smitty, you using this arcade plugin from Output?
No, I'm not. That's my guy Doc Uno. But no, I don't even know what that is actually.
You were very like, I remember from the live show you were talking about like what plugins you use, and you was just like, bro, I just use whatever. I just pull up.
I just usually I use Nexus. I use Contact. But that's probably it. I don't know, man. I just feel like I got good with mixing or something. I don't know. Because I did learn how to engineer, so that did help. So I can manipulate stuff.
And you do hang around with AJ, who was like a
that
incredible
helped
engineer.
out. Hey, that helped out a lot because I sat up under him for like a year, just mixing records and stuff, man. And it just gave my ear a totally different, like more about textures and because now you're thinking about how the engineer is going to mix your record. So now you're picking out certain type of drums. And shit. You know what I'm saying? Like to give you that whole perspective too. So that's why it's important to learn. It's important to learn every job, but you don't have to do every job.
Exactly. You want to understand how it works.
Yeah. So if you're a rapper, you learn as much as you can as an engineer, but don't be trying to be the engineer.
Right. It'll help you work better with the engineer.
Right.
Being a sample-based producer too, I think it's cool to sit around an engineer and learn, and just watching engineers manipulate and mix samples. Like samples is always dope because every sample is gonna be different. And it's gonna be from a different genre, a different time period. It's going. I'm like, damn, how's he gonna do this? I used to love watching that. Jay. Oh yeah. Jay was great at that, man. And Chris too. Shout out to Chris Gobby, Tim's engineer.
I thought you were talking about Chris King.
No, but shout out to Chris King too. Yeah, just watching people do that, I'm like, man, it's amazing. But it does make you work a little bit different when you go to the crib.
Zulu Child says, Smitty, when you say cover, you mean remix the song?
When I say cover, I mean like a album cover. Like you get an album cover, you put whatever. You can put you featuring them.
You just re-release it.
Yeah, you just re-release it. And if you get now some depending on the relationship with the artist, some artists allow you to get the stems and stuff. And be like, yeah, man, I'll send you over the vocals if you got a relationship with them. And then you can go back in there and you can remake the beat around it and stuff like that. So
damn, that's dope.
But now you can't do that with no label.
Right.
So this ain't
they gonna come after you.
Go ahead, yeah. So if you get like a label, you don't want to do none of this. But for like just do what you can afford. I just say that. I always say just do what you can afford. Period. Whether that's morally, financially.
That's a dope motto.
Yeah, do what you can afford.
Shout out to my bro Diego Avin here.
Young Diego, what up? Another dope engineer and producer.
Facts. Okay, Wenzel says, what's your take on type beat tycoons?
So that's the type beats.
Little Uzi type beats.
I get, from my understanding, it helps with like finding the beats, right?
Yeah. To me, it's like SEO. It's like search engine.
Again, I don't see nothing wrong with that. If that's helping your business, then what's wrong with that? Go ahead.
If you have a business plan,
Yeah,
it goes back to that. If you have a business
right.
plan, but yeah, you're right.
Yeah, I think the issue is most people don't see it as SEO. They see it as I'm just gonna make beats like everybody else, and so it becomes an issue of everybody's copying each other, and then there's nobody's like standing.
It's surface level.
Yeah,
it's real surface level.
Yeah, like oh man, they get a lot of views for making such and such type beats. I'm gonna make type beats too, but it's not like I'm making type beats to attract people to me, and then I can show them what I got and bring them into my plan.
Right.
But I don't have a plan. I'm just
only the business people probably thinking like that, you know. But the people who not thinking business is like, oh, type beats. You just doing a 6ix9ine type beat, and you know that's it.
Yeah. I always think you should have some U-type beats.
I was about to say the whole point of production is to make for people to want your type of beat. That's what I would always assume is like. Yeah. I want people to be like, I want a Trizza beat. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's the goal.
So what's the difference between having a folder on your laptop that says type beats, Jay-Z type beats, Ross type beats, and you just saying, oh, I'm just going to share this with the world, like, cause these.
I don't think it's nothing wrong with it. I think the issue is when people only start with like, they'd be like, who's the artist? Like a Gunner type beats, right?
Yeah.
And they only make beats like Weezy. That's when I think the issue becomes because it's taking away the originality of what production is. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah, that's why. I would say that. Yeah.
But business wise, I think it's
now,
dope.
if you're doing some whole other shit and it's like you just put tight beats and you're just trying to attract people, or I can really hear him on something different, then cool, whatever. But you do what you can afford.
There you go.
Because your reputation, you know what I'm saying? Like, if people know.
There you go. Well, like you said, we all came in the game like emulating or emulating somebody that we like, but certain people, everybody at this table definitely included, you always had a plan to make your own sound, and a lot of people don't have that, and so you came up in a copy thing, and all you do is copy each other, but then you lose the fact that they're supposed to be you somewhere in there, so it's like you never even met yourself musically ever. You might have been doing this for 5-6 years, and you never met yourself.
Yeah, that's right.
I just think that's super crazy, man.
Young Brothers Music says most underrated plugins.
That's a good question. I'm gonna say Citrus. Well, for me on FL Studio, I'm gonna say Citrus. I feel like that's one of the most slept on.
Nice.
Yeah, definitely Citrus. I don't use much, so I just use Nexus, Contact.
There you go. Yeah. What about you, bro?
I was gonna say either EQ or L2, one of them, because I use them all the time, and it's like I feel like people use it, but it makes such a big difference in your production if you use it right. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
True. For me, let me think of some.
You got some
trusty dusties.
Oracle got some plugins, or Oracle got some joints you ain't never heard of.
Yeah. Zebra is one by Uhi.
Oh yeah, Zebra.
Zebra's dope.
Diva.
Definitely Diva. Yeah, Diva's crazy.
I got these plugins, I just don't use them.
Just make sure you got some RAM. If you got Diva, make sure your RAM is all the way.
Don't pull up no pads, bro. Yeah, that's the only reason why I don't use Diva a lot. Also, I will say Albino by Rob Tappan. It got some dope basses in it, and Analog Lab by Arturia. It's not really underrated, but I feel like it's underutilized.
Damn, you said Albino. I ain't heard of but that one in a minute, bro.
Yeah, exactly.
Y'all ever use Serato sample?
Oh, yeah. All the time.
Yeah, I love Serato sample.
Okay, so let's get into a Serato sample conversation real quick. What do you like about it?
I just say the one thing I don't like is I feel like you need more pads. Because I like to be able to go more, but I like that you can change these pads to make it like you can shift the pitch and like you can just do so much shit on it.
That's true.
And it's always in sync.
Yeah.
Which is the reason I like Ableton so much at one point.
Yes, that's true. I like the the thing I like and the thing I don't like about it are the same thing. The randomization of it, like when you go in and it just boom auto chops and then.
Yeah.
But depending on what you put in there, like if it's a song, it's not good at spanning the. So like you'll get a million chops from the beginning, nothing from the middle, and then a chop when it's fading out at the end. And then to move things around to where you want them on each pad is not as intuitive as I would like it to be. So, but I do like the fact that it is kind of random. You'll get those.
I use it when I'm depending on what I'm doing, like what I'm trying to manipulate. Like if it's a sample, it's like I just cannot catch this with like regular chopping. It's like okay, let me throw it in Serato. Between Serato and Gross Beats, you
it's
gonna
a whole new.
you're gonna come up with something.
Ableton Simpler with the slice mode though, that's where it kind of has Serato beat. Is that you can set the sensitivity and you got 64 pads and you can see how many pads is filling up or not, and then it actually spans most of the time the entire song, and then it's just like random chopping in there too, and it's also tempo sync.
I should have brought my push, but you got one right here.
Yeah, sure do, bud. Sure do.
Maybe you can convince me.
Yeah,
Push boys.
Exactly.
Diego asked said, "Let's make money type beats." I'm with that.
Facts, young Diego.
Shout out to Umami in here. She was at the live show also. She got to see Smitty.
Oh yeah.
Get
I think I follow her.
Yeah. She has some fire. She has some super fire beats at the joint.
Beat by Jay Black. Oh yeah, Jay Black on here.
Young Jay Black in here. What up, bro? Yes, sir.
See, I think folks should make genre type beats like trap, boom bap, sample soul.
Yeah, that's true a lot. The only genre type beat that people are making now is trap soul.
Yeah.
That whole trap soul thing.
See, we was on that thing for a while, man.
Yeah.
So many people be late to the party, man.
That's a fact. And then that's usually when it's time to close down on something. It's like when remember when trap first hit, and then it was like a lot of that, like overseas would be like trap, and it'd be like mad EDM sound and stuff. You're like, that ain't trap, bro. It's kind of out of here.
So how much? Let me ask y'all a question. How much music do y'all listen to? Like, do y'all consume a lot of music, or like in your free time, or you kind of like, I don't want to listen to no music?
Not anymore. Not like I used to.
Okay.
It's weird because now I'm more picky about what I listen to because I don't want to. I feel like you ever see like a older producer back in the day and they didn't want to take your demo because they was like, I don't want you to.
Don't take my mojo.
Bro, I remember I met. Was it Tim or something? No, it was Swiss, and I tried to give him a BCD, and he's like, he wouldn't take it because he didn't want people thinking that he heard it and copied it. It was like he didn't want to be influenced by what he heard, which I respected it. You know what I'm saying? And now I'm kind of, I don't want to be influenced by the radio so much. I listen to see what's working, but then I vibe out with other stuff, like more worldly kind of stuff.
Gotcha.
That's like an NBA player. Like, nah, I'm not gonna sleep with you because if you pop up pregnant in a month, I gotta prove that it's not mine.
Exactly.
Type of deal.
Yeah.
I consume a lot of music, but it's not like current music. It's gonna be like some jazz or some some random.
I'm
shit.
not the only one then, because I'm like, I don't listen to like no music. And people like, you a producer? I'm like, nah, man. I listen to like jazz. Like, I don't want to hear no. If I'm riding with me, I don't want to hear no rap. Like I'm just listening to like soothing jazz.
I listen to samples most of the time. Like I'm listening to. I will sit and listen to samples or sampleable music or a record collection type deal.
But no new like
for hours, but not new stuff. If I listen to new stuff, like my wife is usually good with she'll make like playlists.
Yeah.
It's usually like an Odyssey or a Jay Dilla type of instrumental playlist, and we just like chill out to that. But if it wasn't for this show, I wouldn't listen to a lot of stuff. So I like the fact that we do this show because people always ask us, "Have you heard the new this? Have you heard the new that?"
So it make you kind of.
So it make you listen.
Yeah. I don't listen to no music, man.
Diego asked that I know the most underrated plug-in, but that's going to the grave, right, Trevor? Yo, he showed me.
You passing that Jameson?
Yes, indeed.
He showed me a plug-in, bro.
Thank you.
And I knew it was fire because he's like, bro, you gotta swear you can't tell nobody. And so I already knew it was fire, bro. It's
Fire.
It's fire, bro.
Yeah, Diego be having some gems, man.
Let's see. Where do y'all absorb music the best at? The car, beach?
Probably the car for me. That's the only time I really listen to music.
Usually here, or if I'm on the deck. if I'm on the deck, I'll listen to some music, or like if I'm down here, I'll rock out to something. In the car, I listen to only podcasts.
Yeah.
Most of the time, I'm just podcast out.
Yeah.
And I used to clown my grandfather for listening to talk radio when I was a kid.
Sports radio and stuff.
Yeah, I'm like,
trash.
why are you riding around listening to people talk? This is stupid. Now that's
That's
all I do, bro.
Bro, they had the tapes back then, probably, right?
Right, and guess what? Look what we doing right
Exact same
now.
joint. Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, for me, it's the gym. When I'm in the gym, that's when I listen to new
I was
music.
there.
Okay.
Because
That's good.
Yeah, especially trap stuff. That's really the only time I listen to like that type of stuff. Because
Yeah, that's a
That
good
energy.
energy.
I don't want to hear it riding down the road. Like, I
yeah,
don't know how people do it, man. I can't. I'm just a chill person, so I need to hear like some,
Soothing.
something soothing. You know.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. Plus, if you want to hear trap music in Atlanta in your car, ride with your windows
Put it
down.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
right.
That's
Yeah.
all
That's all you
you
gonna
get.
pick one of the 5 radio stations that's playing trap non-stop all day.
That is true. People like that about Atlanta that don't live here. They're like, wow, your radio station is crazy.
I
I'm
don't even know the
like,
last time I listened to the radio.
Yeah.
mm-mm.
I guarantee you, they're gonna play a Cardi B song, a Gucci Man song, and a Future song
Yep.
within the next 15 minutes. Guaranteed.
Yep. Some Migos in there. For sure.
Let's see. How do smartphones affect how an engineer mixes and masters records?
Oh, you skip one. Hold on. Do you use hardware like MPC Live?
Oh, okay. Do you use hardware like MPC Live, all the DAWs, or hybrid?
What do you do? I'm curious to know what you do.
Man, look at
Yeah, I know. That's why I
Sam Ash over
what,
here.
what do you do? What do you?
Yo, first of all, I have all the dolls, but I use Ableton, of course. Most of the time, to be honest with you, man, like you see the setup in front with the little MIDI keyboard, the touch controllers, like that's really all I use, and then the push.
Okay, gotcha.
But when I'm really feeling spunky, I'll just turn it's the same setup, but I got the push. Now I got all the drum machines
Gotcha.
and additional keyboards if I need them. And if I really want to slide down, this machine will be hooked up and it'll be at the exact same as this one, so I can sit here. And I'll have a screen right here. So it's really just 3 copies of the same setup, but
Gotcha.
all I really need is
Push.
basically a controller and a computer,
Gotcha.
or the push and a computer.
Gotcha. Gotcha.
And all this stuff just runs off that laptop too.
What about those MPC?
Oh, that,
Yeah, you got it over there just sitting in the
yeah, I
car.
got an MPC. Oh, you ain't seen the other room.
Yeah, he got dog.
Shit.
I own a room.
Oracle got about 4 studios, and this is right here.
Yeah, but yeah, that NPC just was replaced by that NPC, and that one was replaced another NPC, so on and so forth. I really like gear and controllers. Not so much buying them anymore, but I just like special stuff. Smitty, I don't know, behind you on that shelf, that little keyboard right there.
Yeah.
I don't know if you ever seen or used one of those before.
No, I haven't.
Let's talk about that. That is the Korg MS-1. It's a sampler. Bruh, it is cold. Kind of think like ASR meets Serato sample meets a SP404.
So this is not this is a keyboard. This is not a controller.
Yeah, it's a keyboard.
Oh, okay.
And it's a sampler. It's cold, bruh. And all the effects in there are derived from the Chaos pad.
Yeah.
The Chaosilator or whatever it is. Dog, that's cold. I make a lot of stuff, and I use that for a lot of sound design. But yeah, that's one of my coveted pieces that not a lot of people use. That's a slept-on piece of hardware. Yeah, it's just chilling. I actually had it hooked up before y'all got here.
Shout out to oh, hold on. My dude just dang.
What happened? I'm still good over here.
Yeah, but is that who I ain't wanted to say it.
Yeah.
Shout out to Young Legend in the building.
Yeah. Definitely. Shout out to a legend in the building. I don't know if.
Yeah, I ain't know.
Yeah, post your name if you want us to
Yeah,
say.
I ain't want to blow up your spot.
That's a fact.
Okay, hold on. Let me log back into
But so speaking of young legend in the building, I just showed the Korg MS-1. I know you know about that because you got all the keyboards. But that's a slept-on joint, man. It's like a little baby ASR. I always tell people that.
Bro, I feel like the older I get, the less equipment I get.
That's how I feel.
You never need it.
Bro, I used to have all kinds of stuff, keyboards. And now it's like yeah, I just need the mouse.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
And then like a baby
Mouse,
keyboard.
keyboard. That's it.
It's inspirational. I will say, if I want to work a certain way, I can use a push. If I want to work another way, I can use an
That's
NPC.
fine.
Because the NPC sequencer makes you do different things than if you're drawing inside of Ableton and etc.
And then how you work is different, bro. So that's why I'm like, yo.
Yeah, I work weird. Let's not bring the AI into this and all that type of stuff too. But to stay inspired, man, I need different ways to.
Right.
Like I said, I broke out the MS1 because I was using it. I was making a beat on that yesterday because it's so limited.
Let's see. Umar says I got a noise complaint from HOA using the 808 Formula 2.
Hey, shout out to the 808 Formula 2. Yes, sir.
Shout out to the HOA.
Yeah.
Let's see. Radio claims they play what people want to hear. Is that really, or are they programming listeners to like what indie promoters are paying them to play?
What's your thoughts on that, young
I'm
Smitty?
gonna say that they paying to play that. That's why everything a hit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Radio ain't never played what I wanted to hear, and it's like entirely their whole playlist has never been what I wanted to hear.
Young No ID says analog lifestyle. Shout out to him, man.
Man, you already know,
Shout
man.
out to him.
First of all, legend in the building, young No ID, always a goat. You know. Yeah. No, wait. Analog lifestyle. You think
Oh yeah.
what I'm doing is
I'm trying to get on the level.
that's just God level equipment. I remember seeing this stuff from like 10 years ago. Like, yeah, this is a lot, bro. You know when you gotta look around like this? This is a lot, bro.
Analog sounds better though, man.
It does.
It sounds thicker. Like
I don't know how to explain it.
I think I heard what was it, like a couple years ago, iStandard had something in LA for it was like a bunch of like celebrity battle, man, and Battle Cat went up there and played some stuff, man.
Oh god.
The way them
I
synth,
know.
like them synths and oh my god, bro, it was just like there was no way you can like no VST.
Nah.
It was just different, bro. Like it was just really different.
Battle Cat to me is one of the most, I don't want to say underrated, but he's one of the most talented producers that I've ever seen that I feel like we should lift him up a little bit more.
Yeah.
I feel like everybody understands he's dope, but I'm just like, bro,
There's a lot of people like that.
I don't think I've ever heard a bad beat from him, bro.
Yeah.
It's like everything I hear, I'm just like, bro, this is amazing, bro.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
He's a legend, bro.
Yeah, he's super incredible. But yeah, analog sound. So how do you feel about analog modeled plugins? Do you think a lot of them come close, or do you?
I can't even say because I didn't even have like a bunch of analog back in the day that I couldn't afford it. I think my first beat machine was like a DR202
Oh wow.
drum machine. Then I hooked that to
Like
like
the
a
Boss
Casio.
drum.
Yep. And then I linked that to like a Casio keyboard. I was just trying to learn. Matter of fact, I was trying to duplicate a bunch of 3 6 Mafia beats. That was my thing, because they had the simple piano and it was simple. And then I got introduced to FL Studio and then life changed. Yeah.
Yeah, bro, I still been on FL, bro.
I can't be mad at y'all. Like I
Still
said,
Ableton
if I wasn't using Ableton as much as I would be using FL, and I have FL installed, and I've
Have you
started
tried
messing
using
with
it?
Yeah, but not enough to be like, yeah, I use it.
Yeah.
But hey, I got it. Cause shout out to ImageLine. They sent me FL.
Okay.
So I didn't even have to buy it or nothing.
yeah,
so
yeah.
I'm like, man, let me just use it. Cause they sent me that Fire controller. So I'm like, let me try it out. It's a lot of shit about FL that I like.
Yeah.
I really love it. So I don't know. I might spend a week, man. Just switch over for a week.
Shit, man. This shit.
Matter of
I
fact,
love it, man.
speaking of
It's getting better now. Like
Oh, yeah.
updates and shit.
yeah. Speaking of No ID, I don't know if he did it or not. He had this post. This is a while ago. He's like, thinking about switching over to FL for a week. Should I do it? It was a poll, and it came out to yes. So he said he was going to switch over to use it for an entire week.
Well, he just said Ableton.
All right, cool. All right, yeah, there you go. Listen, man.
Come on over to the FL. And
I'm
Nah.
not, bruh. For me, what it is Ableton is like having a Lambo where you can go super fast and do all this, but like FL is like, to me, is like a American muscle car. It's like you can fix it yourself, you can get on the hood, you can do all this other stuff, and it still kind of get you there. It's a little bit simplified, but it's still like,
It's dope. It's definitely not the clown doll it used to be.
yeah.
But when it comes to just, man, Ableton, I can make Ableton emulate in a workflow fashion anything that I'm accustomed to using. So just like I don't know, it's just mad ways to do shit in Ableton. I can't explain it. I'm not gonna go into it, but you see how far I will take Ableton.
I think with both of those dolls, what makes them great is what hurts them in the same way too. Ableton, you can do anything, but people are overwhelmed by what it looks like.
Very intimidating.
Fruity Loops it's very simplified, but then that in a way is a limitation in a way. It can be. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's like depending on what you're looking at. But for me, it was like it's a good change of pace. You know, I've been on Ableton now for what 4 years, like nonstop. True. You know what I mean? Like
True.
Just switch something up, change it up a little bit.
I think I need to see somebody actually use like Ableton though. Like maybe
Yeah, definitely helps.
It just seems like it's just like a lot of steps to get to where I want it.
It's not bad. It just looks different.
It does. It looks like a spreadsheet.
It's the clip view too, because you see people use that view, and I never used that side.
See, I was using the push. I was just doing the What I would do is go to the I can't remember correctly. I can't remember, but what's the other format?
The linear view.
Yeah. And then I just hit record on the push, and I just do everything, and like
yeah, just like straight across.
Yeah.
Now this mode, this mode, the session view is really the shit, bro. Like
I gotta see it.
Yeah, it's really the shit. But I can understand it is very intimidating to look at, but at the same time, it's not anything I ever tried to do that Ableton couldn't do, including talking to me. And I'll after that I was like, I'm so
talking to you.
Oh yeah.
What?
Man,
you gotta show me all of this.
Yeah.
You gonna have me, man. You gonna have me leaving that in on me on Ableton.
You gotta talk about your new doll, Young Magic. Yeah, I was over here Monday, and this keyboard instead of saying Logic, it says Magic Pro. Bro, I was over here weak, bro. Young Magic Johnson.
That's what it's for. It's for all the magic happens, bro. Magic. But yeah, I'll show you. I'll show you. Matter of fact, I'll show you on this video I made.
Okay.
After the joint, it's crazy.
Let's see. Ableton just got the workflow down pat.
Yeah, it just don't look like it. It's very
it's intimidating, but it's not that bad.
Yeah.
The features to me, like time stretching, only thing to me is close is Serato sample.
Yeah.
But to me, the time stretching on Ableton is like.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
No, it's dope. I'm not knocking it.
Oh yeah.
That's how most people got into Ableton.
That's why I got into it. Mm-hmm. That in the chords.
Oh
yeah.
Cause like, I don't know how to play keys. So I was like, oh man, it's gonna help. But then I found this plug-in on FL Studio that helps with all of that. So,
yeah. That's crazy how many producers don't really play like that.
Yeah.
I don't play like that, but I'll develop like a program that'll just make chords. You don't play like that. Trizza probably plays. I don't know your level, but he might play better than both of us. And he don't play.
Yeah, I don't play.
I'll be over here like, like
well, if Paul was here, Paul would be the one, because Paul got all the fingers.
You'd be looking at me like, nigga, do you really make beats? So, yeah.
I'm the same way, bro.
I'm horrible.
Bro, I be one finger at a time like.
I tell you what, I mean XO and XO2 and all that stuff, and I don't know how to play. But
you know, Ableton though, when I did get on Ableton, it showed me more about FL. So I was like, oh man. Then I went back and explored FL. And I was like, oh wait, a lot of this stuff is in here. And I didn't even know it. I was like, oh man. So I think that's why I was like, collect dust Ableton. I'm good.
That's
I went
dope.
up to the Ableton office and everything, man. They looked out for me and everything. Just like,
man, shout out to Dayson Civil in here, man.
Hey, shout out to Dayson.
Yes, sir.
Danger and Tim use Ableton.
Yep. That is a fact. Shout out to Danger. Also, shout out to Tim.
No idea what a fire comparison. He says Ableton is a Tesla, FL is a Benz.
I can see that.
I'm not mad at that at all.
Damn it, that's a good one.
I'm not mad at that.
That is a good
I
one.
like that, yeah.
Yeah, you're not ashamed to be seen in either.
Yeah.
But a lot can be said about your character being seen using either.
Yeah.
Not mad at
I
that.
remember when people thought FL was like a damn Chevy Caprice or something.
Right.
It was bottom of the barrel at one
True.
point.
Was it
So that's a
Neo
good, that's a
Metro?
good
Yeah.
we came up.
It was the daughter everybody clown.
Yeah.
But now it's really comparable. But I ain't gonna lie, when people see you using Ableton, like really using Ableton, they look at you like you're a scientist, and they don't question you.
There's a lot of shit.
They're like, okay, you must be smart.
Yeah. All them buttons. Look, I mean, it look intimidating though. When you look at it, it's like, bro, it's a lot of shit.
Yeah.
And I think most people be like, oh man, it's just so much buttons. Like that's the thing. But it's not hard. It's not hard to learn. Like once it's just for me. It was still like it's just a lot to get where I want to go.
True. So, so you started with FL Studio.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, the DR202.
Got you.
Yeah.
So that was your first DAW.
That was my first one. Yeah.
What was your first DAW, Trezor?
FL. Well, actually, first DAW.
Yeah.
DAW, I would say FL, but I did have like random. I had an ASR X at one point back in the day.
Okay.
I had a little 404 sampler that I didn't know what the hell I was doing.
Facts.
Yeah.
Got you.
But Fruity Loops was like the Fruity Loops 4. I feel like was the first I really went kind of crazy with.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I think my first DAW was New Window. New
Using
Window.
that Adobe Digital.
Facts.
Yeah,
Down with the Cubase, and then remember I was on. Did I meet you around my
Cubase.
Reaper phase?
Yeah,
I was on Reaper.
I remember Cubase though.
Cubase, yeah.
I remember Cubase.
Yeah, Cubase used to be the lick back in the day.
Reaper. I wasn't mad at Reaper though.
Reaper was dope. That was one of the most slept on DAWs
It was
ever.
free.
It's probably super dope at this point.
It was free, right?
Somebody talking Studio One.
Yeah.
What about Studio One?
Okay, Studio One to me is kind of like Logic in a sense. Like they are very functional.
Yeah.
They'll get you there, but there is no bells and whistles, or no one can ever explain to me like the wow of it. But if you have to use something like I just want to do it, it's very Cubase to me. Yeah.
Busywork says, I think it's because people don't realize you need higher levels of Ableton to unlock stuff. I can see that.
Oh, the suite.
Yeah.
Yeah. For the the workflow is the same, but there are certain things like for some reason, only the suite comes with the Ableton sampler. But now, if you got simpler, man, you good to go. They updated that so much.
See, I ain't been on there. I ain't used it in so long. So I don't know.
Yeah, Don Corleone says the window. Yeah, buddy.
Yeah, the window, you get that Dolby Digital.
7.1 surround
Stuff
sound.
all behind you.
Like, what am I scoring? The Lion King? Yeah.
You scoring a horror movie with that joint.
But I used to rewire Ableton through, it's Cubase at the time. Rewire Ableton through Cubase just because of the time stretch. I was like, you mean I could put a whole song in here and warp it and it'll play on time?
Yeah.
First day I found that out, I probably spent 6 hours just putting whole songs in there and warping it and listening to make sure it would just play the whole song and beat the entire time. And I was like, yo, this is amazing.
So do you think it's easier to sample in Ableton?
No, not at all. I think it's easier to manipulate samples in Ableton. But now, so when you say sampling, to me, sampling is actually like recording a piece of music, like actually like sampling.
Yeah.
Yeah, because Ableton to me still doesn't sample; it records.
Gotcha.
And the difference to me is sampling requires a threshold,
Right.
and there's like no threshold, and it's more of a start-stop piece thing when I say sampling. But yeah, with Ableton you just hit record, but then once you record it, click on the first jump, warp from here. Your whole shit is on beat.
Wenzo said FL wasn't made by musicians, so the weird nomenclature is misleading when you open other DAWs.
I heard about that.
Yeah, I think that's what makes it actually dope. Is that cause it's weird, bro. Sometimes when I think with these DAWs and plugins, that it's like an engineer making them and somebody who doesn't really make beats. Because it'd be too technical. I'm like, oh, why is this button here? Like that doesn't make sense. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But with FL, it's like
Pretty simple.
bare minimum. How do you get this done in the most efficient way?
Yeah, simple.
Yeah, it's super simple. So I think that's what makes it so.
I feel like I always say like the iPhone is like the most simple phone. Like,
Exactly.
It's straight to the point. You know, you
Very
might not
true.
be able to do a lot of extra shit. but
Right.
It gets you to where you need to be.
Super true.
Yeah, and that's how I feel with FL. It's just like it's straight to the point.
Super true. Wait, No Idea is speaking to us from the future. He says, honorable mention to Serato Studio, which none of us have yet. You remember, you've seen the
I
videos,
seen it.
right?
I seen.
Have you seen the videos?
I haven't seen it.
So picture Serato sample, but they made like a whole little kind of compact DAW out of it. To the point where it'll like randomly make like the drum patterns and it's a lot of stuff that it does. But the ease of use of Serato sample, if you could picture that inside of a compact DAW with like 4 little windows, that's Serato Studio.
So you put Serato Studio inside of a DAW?
No, it is a DAW.
Oh, damn.
Yeah, it's not. I don't know if it's out yet. I don't think it's out.
It might be out, but I seen it in
Yeah, I'm
computer
looking at it now.
computer music
Yeah.
It
magazine.
say beta.
Oh,
Yeah,
it's
see,
beta.
look who brought it up. So
Yeah, you never know. He got the plug.
yeah, it's a fact.
My dog got Ableton 12.
Right, he on it. Oh, speaking of having things early, I don't know all the MPC users out there. MPC 2.6 software dropped today. I don't know if y'all saw it or checked it out. Shout out to Akai. They sent that to me early. I got to check it out early. Pretty dope, man. Check it out, all my MPC users.
Oh, shout out to me and Oracle's supposed to speak on something coming up soon. We'll announce that.
Oh yeah.
I'm excited about that.
Yeah, man. These companies out here, they getting it together, man.
Yeah, they starting to reach out, man. Come on,
When they get an NPC, I think it's kind of important to try to learn every DAW though. You know, like especially when you're collaborating.
Yeah, it definitely helps.
Yeah. Have you ever used an MPC?
Nah, I never.
Oh, I love it.
Man, the sequencer is so basic but so amazing. That's the one thing that they have not ever changed, and they should never change it.
Yeah, if they could figure that out for something else, it would be amazing.
Man, the sequencer is amazing. That is the reason why I use Machine more than I use my MPC nowadays. But if the Machine had like an MPC type of sequencer, bruh, it would be game over. But Machine, they got the pattern and the thing, and it's just so I'll just make drum patterns and then record them in audio, or when I'm sampling something, or I'm like, oh, it's a dope sound, I'm not gonna use it right now, I'll put it in Machine because Machine has a threshold, and I like to sample like boom, threshold, stop recording.
Gotcha.
But yeah, the MPC sequencer, nuts, bro.
See, Dayson says I got Serato sample. I have to use it some more. I'm so used to listening to the sample and picking my cue points manually.
Right. So okay, yeah, that's the good. The good point is it'll shuffle it for you and pick points that you wouldn't. But when you do want to pick your stuff manually, it's tough, bro.
Yeah, it sucks.
It's
Why did they make it? Is okay, so it's not just me.
no,
Okay.
it's very and then it gets back to what you were saying. It's only 16 pads.
Yeah.
And I've always, even when using MPC, I get banks of 8. That goes back to the MPC 2000 days. But once Push came along, I'm like, yo, I got 64 pads.
Yeah.
That's the shit.
Yeah.
So bringing me back to a 16 pad thing,
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, oh, that's not the shit.
That's facts.
Yeah.
I chop on the keyboard, the MIDI keyboard.
Oh yeah.
So
Yeah.
I need all of that.
So yeah, you got, depending on, you probably got like 40, at least 49 keys.
Yeah. I need all of them.
Yep. I'm with
My
you.
chops and I need them now.
Facts.
Let's see, Sound Oracle. When you say threshold for sampling, are you talking about the start and ending of a recording?
Yeah, and that's just the old school in me. But like, yeah, if you know, the threshold is 25, -25. When the sound crosses that, it starts sampling, and I could just stop it. To me, that's sampling. Otherwise, it's recording. When you just record, then you play something, and then you stop it. So it's a very subtle difference, but it's a difference to me, and it's a total different workworkflow.
Somebody said they use Edison. I used to use Edison
shit.
to chop. I still use that. I
Yeah.
use Edison to chop when I I don't want it to be perfect. Like, cause there's no way. At least I don't know no way you.
Silence at the beginning and the end.
Yep.
I used to use it for that because stuff will have space in the beginning. To me, sampling, threshold sampling, by the way, is good for drums. When I sound design drums, I'll do certain stuff, and I'll resample myself back and forth and back and forth and back and forth. It's hard to do that without a threshold. Because if you record and then you just sample a snare, and now you got mad space in the beginning and space at the end, it's kind of a pain in the ass.
Does Ableton need to update piano roll now?
They could.
Until I went back to Fruity Loops, bro. Fruity Loops piano roll is lovely. I ain't even gonna front, bro.
I got to get more into it, but
I like the ghost notes that you can do. I like just the workflow of that piano roll is better to me.
well, what's dope about? Because this is me not using FL piano roll, but still saying Ableton could update their piano roll.
It's just easier to flow for me, like creating melodies, because like say you got a chord up here, right, and you go to another joint, it shows the notes grayed out in your chord, so it's not like in Ableton I'm going back and forth like what note.
Oh no, they got that now.
Oh, for real?
Yeah. In Ableton 10, you can select more than one clip or more than one thing, and you can see
You gotta show me that then, because
Yeah.
I didn't even know that was a thing.
Yeah, you can do that.
Okay, well, never mind.
Yeah,
That throws my argument out.
I like FL, man. It's simple.
You know, I had a discussion with Diego about this. I feel like Fruity Loops pitch is different. Ableton is so clean that it sounds clean. When I hear a hi-hat or something in Fruity Loops, it sounds different to me. It's like the way it pitches it, it's like, it's not the same. And I think that's what makes that sound.
Have you noticed that?
No.
Because when Tristan told me that, it really intrigued me and made me want to fuck with FL even more. He's like, yo, when you pitch something down, it just
different.
sounds different, especially drums, right?
To me, Ableton it pitches, but it's like very clean, which in a way I like. But Fruity Loops, it has a
grittier.
It's a grittiness to it, which makes it kind of.
I gotta check it out.
But a lot of people like FL's engine because they say it sounds grittier. Like
Yeah.
I heard people compare FL engine to an MPC.
I think that's a bit far, but I do think FL has a certain type of knock, and I'm a firm believer, or used to be a firm believer in. It's digital, so what you put into it is what you'll hear out. But it's something in FL that gives it like just that knock, man. Yeah, I first noticed it back when I was in Cali working with Polo on them, and Hit Boy, and it was using FL, and I was like, "God damn, these niggas drums, what's going on?"
Chasing
And I was
Cash,
the
they
drum,
going
the drum dude.
Yeah.
I was like, "Wait, something is going on." Yeah, Chasing Cash.
Yeah, they was going crazy with the Fruity Loops drums.
What?
Fruity Loops, man, they should. Busy Works, Ninth Wonder, and Lex Luger. They should put like a statue for them because they really changed the game for Fruity Loops. I feel like.
B Weezy too. B
Oh
Weezy.
yeah.
People sleep on B Weezy.
No, that's another one.
Facts.
I mean, yeah, because I be like, man, it's 808 that everybody uses.
Yeah.
That's like his. I think I got his kid on here actually.
Damn. Wait, somebody says I love Machine too. Machine is dope, but I just use it like a utility. I don't use it like a beat machine.
We'll see. Oh, well, I want to ask you this. We always try to ask people, what advice would you give to up and coming producers? Like, if you had to give them any advice about business, just creating, just something that they could, actionable steps that they could take and like, just apply. What would you give them?
I would just say read more, like educate yourself. Like the best thing you can ever do is educate yourself. They always say you want to hide something, people put it in the book, but people don't read. That's not the actual quote.
Yeah,
but it's pretty much it's real. Like the more you know, the more you educated, the more you can move a certain way. Even if it's just not legal stuff or just business stuff. Even like me going to school for audio engineering, that helped me out because now I'm able to go in the studio and say, hey man, look, take out 200 hertz here or add the R verb here and then take out the wet here and and then you know what the hell you're talking about.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So again, it's important to learn just like a job. You want to learn if you're a boss or a leader or whatever, you want to learn at least a bit of every single job.
You gotta know
That's
how
true.
it works.
Yeah.
And the business, like I said, if you get in the music business, you want to at least learn as much as you can. Because even if you talk to a lawyer, you want to at least know what you're talking about. I even heard lawyers be like, man, you really know a lot. When I first started, they're like, man, you really know a lot for you to just be starting off. It's like, yeah, because I want to make sure you're not playing me.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? And just want to know as much as possible. So
True.
Facts.
Nice.
Dope. I like that. We'll see. Almost time. Thanks for the wisdom. Oh yeah, you see, I'm trying to ask the hard hitting questions before they.
Yeah, they're about to kick us off. It's about to be over with.
Let's see,
it's 6 already.
bro. Yeah.
Nope.
No, the time be flying. Bro,
Yeah, I see. I was like 2 hours, and then it don't even feel like 2 hours.
Yeah,
Nope.
Not at all.
Get you sitting here drinking.
Drinking and chopping it up.
I see you got the razor. How you like the razor?
I love it, man. But it ain't like a Mac though. Like Mac is simple with files. I feel like PC you lose files so easy. Like it's just so
Really?
many folders and subfolders and other folders. But overall, I love it, man. It's just fast. I can have like 20 contacts up and it's just.
I believe it.
Yeah, bruh.
So yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, they've been trying to. Y'all been influencing me with the PC world. I'm just, bro. I've been on the Mac for 10 years now, so it's hard for me to like. I look at the PC, I'm like, looks crazy.
I'm gonna have to get a very fast Mac for me. And then like a lot of the plugins that I use are only on PC.
That makes
Yeah.
sense.
Yeah, I'm a PC guy. I've never had a Mac.
Oh, this is PC? You got the Ableton on PC?
Yeah,
Oh,
everything,
cool.
everything PC. I'm really into convertibles now too. Like if you see like the screens that
Yeah.
flip back, all my computers are like that now.
So they're about to kick us off. You know, Oracle, any plugs?
Man, Been Trapping 4, check it out. Moon Rocks also, and that's about it. What you got?
Well, I was gonna say Smitty.
Oh yeah, just follow me, the real Smitty. I put my name down here in the comments and just follow me and
Yeah, make sure you follow him, man. Show him some love, spam some likes, and
All that.
comment on all his joints.
All that. Hit his page as soon as the show over.
And like Been Trapping 4, and then check out Music Producer Mindset, our production course, step by step. Me and Diego Ave made it. It's coming out great, man.
Facts.
Man, appreciate y'all. Enjoyed the show, man. Everybody's saying it was a great show, Smitty. They enjoyed having you on here.
Man, you gotta come back, bro.
Yeah,
we definitely gotta have Smitty back.
Yeah.
And for 30 seconds, we're gonna sing.
No, we're not.
1, 2.
Facts, man. Hey, do something great this weekend, man.
Yeah, please.
Don't overthink it.
Read a book.
If you learned anything from this show, don't overthink it.
Don't overthink, man.
That's right.
All right, y'all.